said, the body is greater than the sum of its parts. This idea beautifully reflects the purpose of today's seminar. When disciplines come together, knowledge expands and innovation flourishes. Of computational intelligence or biological research represents the future of scientific inquiry by bringing together experts and scholars from diverse fields. Seminar creates a valuable platform for dialogue, collaboration, and improved perspectives. We are truly honored by the presence of our respected dignitaries, speakers, and participants whose contributions will surely make this academic gathering meaningful and successful. With great respect and gratitude, I once again extend a warm welcome to you all and wish this seminar a fruitful and enriching experience. Thank you. Now I request our Principal Madam, Dr. M. Praveena Madam, to come on to the dais, followed by the chair. May I request Ms. Sangeeta, Assistant Professor of Commerce, to present a bouquet to our Principal Madam as a token of respect and appreciation. Madam, your constant encouragement and leadership. Now I request our Chief Guest, Professor Dr. D.S.R. Raghunath, Joint Director, Collegiate Commissioner of Education, Telangana, onto the dais and occupy the chair. I now invite Dr. C.H. Anuradha, Associate Professor of Economics, to felicitate our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. D.S.R. Rajendra Singh, Joint Director, CC, with a bouquet. Sir, your gracious presence has added presence and participation to this seminar. We sincerely thank you for being with us. May I request our guest of honor, Professor P. Balabhaskar sir, Joint Director, Collegiate of Education, Telangana, chair on the dais. I now call upon Dr. Sujata, Head Department of Mathematics, to present a bouquet to our distinguished guest of honor, Joint Director, Professor Balabhaskar sir. Sir, we are deeply honored by your gracious presence. Your association with this seminar adds immense value and dignity to this occasion. We sincerely thank you for sparing your valuable time to be with us despite your demanding schedule. Thank you, sir. Now I request Ms. Devanshu Madam, Vice Principal and Associate Professor of Statistics, onto the dais and occupy the chair. I request Captain Dr. Vijaya, Associate Professor of Botany, to present the bouquet to Vice Principal Madam Ms. S. Nirmala. Thank you, Madam, for your constant support. Now I request Dr. P. Sir, Vice Principal, Head and Assistant Professor of Economics, to come on to the dais and occupy the chair. I now request Dr. H.R. Anika, Associate Professor of Chemistry, to present Zoology, to present the bouquet from Vice Principal Sir, Mr. Jagdishwar sir. Thank you, sir, for your commitment and support in all our endeavors. Now I invite Dr. Nagaprasad, Convener of the Conference, Assistant Professor of the Department of Computer Science, to come on to the dais and occupy the chair. May I invite Dr. Jyoti, Head Department of Commerce, to present a bouquet to the convener of this seminar, Dr. Nagaprasad sir. Sir, your dedication and effort has made this event possible. Thank you very much. Now I move to Dr. Amity Kumar Rathore, Secretary of this conference. Assistant Professor Department of Zoology, Commander the Wire, and occupy the chair. Please, sir. We now call upon Pranay, sir, Assistant Professor of Physics, to please present a bouquet to sir. Sir, we appreciate your meticulous planning and hard work behind the scenes. Thank you so much. To commence this auspicious two-day national conference, now I invite our esteemed guests to come forward and light the ceremonial lamp symbolizing the dispelling of darkness and the illumination of knowledge. Please, let us all rise and seek the divine blessings as we begin the seminar with the prayer song. May I request I now request Dr. Vishnu Kumari to lead us in the prayer song. Deepam Jyoti Parabrahma Deepam Jyotirjanardanaha Deepo Haratu Me Papam Sandhya Deepanamostute Deepam Jyoti Parabrahma Deepam Sarvatamopaha Deepena Sadhyate Sar Sandhya Deepanamostute. Thank you. Thank you, Krishna baby.
Fine.
Thank you, Des.
Wonderful, sir. Fine.
I now have the honor of inviting our respected principal madam, Dr. M. Ravina ma'am, to deliver the welcome address and extend a warm greeting to all the relatives on this momentous occasion. Ma'am.
Good morning to all, respected JD sirs, Honorable Commissioner Madam and respected JD sirs. We are happy to have you here. It's so graceful that you have attended this function even at the cost of your stress and all the other things. You have come all the way, waking up so early and making this to happen and being with us. I'm so happy to announce that our departments are doing great job by going with the application-oriented research and organizing this seminar. And I'm happy to share with you all, even our CCE is doing curriculum revision with the help of IIT H and University of Hyderabad. Even both the JD sirs and the team of our lecturers are at the University of Hyderabad even today in redesigning the curriculum in the life sciences and all the other sciences and other subjects also. Even as a graduate, as I have completed my graduation in BSc and BJC, so I used to think what to do with the cockroach TSR, VSR, LSR, whatever it could be. What is the real use of it? But now they have realized the importance of it and they have started working on it. And even our college teachers, they have realized the importance of the applications and chosen this topic. This is a very interesting topic, sir, that integrating computational intelligence and biological research. All these years, whenever we get all our medical reports, we used to get all the values. But these days, with the AI, with the help of computers, it will automatically notify in the very first page that you have to address your sugar levels or you have to look at your liver function levels or kidney function levels, because computers is already analyzing and giving you the ready-made data. The other day when I met Balabhaskar sir was telling there is such an advanced technology that even the titration we used to do in the chemistry labs, the titration practicals and all those things. Without that, with the help of simulations and all the other things, they can do and get the titrational value automatically. The computer automatically gives it up with the pre-designed program. And we all know the DNA is very important for us these days, but our olden days, our elders used to say, we do carry 7 generations of features or aspects or whatever it could be from our forefathers. As we all know, with the help of DNA only, now we could trace back to where we are from. Some historians talk about we are from Aryan period, we are from Cambodian period, we are from some civilization and Dravidian civilization. All these things came up. With the help of life sciences, with the help of computational applications, we can happily go with our DNA mapping, genomics, drug discovery, protein structure, so many other things that we could do. And today we are able to tell them if we could give a blood sample or a small DNA testing can write hundreds of genome mapping, hundreds of DNA mapping and all those things. They can say within the coming days, probably they may design the babies also, what sort of features that we want, and the babies will be given that features when they take birth. That's how the biological application, all these days, the momentum of multiple disciplinaries and integrated approach is making us to grow further, not only compartmentalizing each and every single department, giving up the productive kind of things. So this is how we have to we have to work on this, giving this thought, or at least giving this idea to our students to take up their subjects in the future by doing their PG or higher education or doing their research projects. India badly needs research from you all. So at this backdrop, we thought this would be the right topic, and our teachers worked really very hard for the past 3 months and received the papers of 123 papers we have received, sir. Even our teacher organizers told me that they are going to publish only with the Web of Sciences. And for the other papers, we have talked about that ISBN and ISSN numbers are already given, sir. We are going to publish in that. We have received 112 abstracts, sir. Full length papers 40. And presentations, poster presentations by the students is also scheduled, sir, to get them varied experiences. 10 of the colleges are going to participate in this, and oral presentations are by the students are 20. And international papers we have got 4, and national-wide papers we have got 7, sir. So a total 250 participants registered, and they are going to take benefit from this seminar. We assure you, sir, we try to bring in the quality in each and every aspect of this seminar. I thank and appreciate all our computer science and zoology departments, and our zoology HOD is at UOH doing with the curriculum revision, sir, along with you people, and all the other teachers who are helping. And this is purely teamwork, sir. Each and everything, they are with me and they are supporting me, and they are encouraging me. And just for the sake of information, the other day on 27th, we have conducted national level Viksit Bharat Youth Parliament, sir. 300 students from all the villages of Sangareddy participated, and 62 of them given final round chance, and 5 of them participating in the state level competition also, sir. So we, just for the sake of information, I would like to use this opportunity. One of our candidates went to RD through NCC, and 10 students, NSS students, went to RD parade through cultural team, and 5 LRDC local RD seated, we have got, and 7 of them with the national integration camp already participated, sir. So national level, we are within 6 months, we could get 25 opportunities, sir. And happy to share that our Tara College started locating on national level portal with the Vikasit Bharat Youth Parliament, where we could get the fetching of NIRF. At least now we are targeting at least to place ourselves in within 500 of NIRFs. Thank you so much, and we owe you, and we seek your blessings in this journey. Thank you so much for coming over here, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your thoughtful address and inputs of the seminar. Your vision and guidance definitely adds to the seminar. And we thank you for always guiding us and encouraging us to organize such programs. Indeed, as rightfully said by our principal ma'am, from the bottom of our heart, thank our 2 joint directors who have graced this occasion despite their demanding schedules. So as a token of appreciation, let us clap once again for our joint directors for moving the way. Thank you. I now request the convener of this conference, Monday conference, Dr. S. Nagaprasad, Head Department of Computer Science, to deliver the theme address and share insights into the purpose and significance of this conference. So,
respected Commissioner Ma'am and respected chief guests of the today's national conference, both the JD sir, thank you sir, thank you very much for coming sir. Distinguished speakers, faculty members and research scholars and dear students, a very good morning to everyone. It gives me great pleasure as a convener of this conference and a faculty member of the Department of Computer Science. I'm thankful to our beloved principal madam giving this opportunity to conduct this type of conferences in the college. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. And the future of life sciences integrating computational intelligence and biological research. Our conference is conducting this topic jointly organized by the Department of Computer Science and Zoology Department at Tara Government Degree College, Sangareddy. The main aim of the conference is meaningful collaboration between the 2 important disciplines, that is computer science and zoology. Today, biological research is no longer limited in the laboratories alone. It increasingly depends on the computational tools such as artificial intelligence, IoT, data analytics, bioinformatics, and modeling the structure of the DNS or everything. At the same time, computer science finds powerful, meaningful applications solving in real-time world, biological and environmental problems. Throughout the multidisciplinary conference, we aim to bring together the scholars from the Department of Science and Applications and Mathematics, Environmental Science and other research fields. Complex challenges such as disease control, biodiversity, conservation, climate change, and sustainable development require integrated knowledge, the teamwork as disciplines. We hope this seminar will provide a platform regarding sharing research ideas of the collaboration and inspiring our students to explore the interdisciplinary learning and innovations. I sincerely thank to the Department of Zoology for their collaboration, the organizing committee for their dedicated effort, and all the participants for being part of this academic events. With these words, I warmly welcome to you all with this conference as a great success. Thank you everyone.
thank you, Nagaprasad sir. We deeply appreciate your efforts in conceptualizing and organizing this multidisciplinary seminar. Your insights have set a clear direction for today's academic deliberations. Thank you once again. I now invite Dr. Sarojini Chakravarti, Assistant Professor of Botany, to introduce our chief guest. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce our chief guest, Professor Dr. D.S.R. Rajan Singh sir. Singh sir is a senior academic administrator and professor of botany, currently serving as joint director at the Commissioner of College of Education, Government of Telangana since 2021. He holds MSc and PhD degrees in botany along with the BMD and brings over 29 years of undergraduate and 10 years of postgraduate teaching experience. With 26 years of rich administrative experience, he has served as principal of SV Government Degree and PG College Palam and Government Degree and PG College Hyderabad and was nominated as executive member of Palamur University by the Honorable Governor for 4 years. He has also held several additional academic and administrative responsibilities. An accomplished researcher, Professor Singh has completed 2 UGC major research projects, published 26 research papers and 20 scientific articles, authored 14 books, and presented papers in 7 international and 20 national conferences. His recent books include environmental biology, cutting-edge research, and biofertilizer organic farming and innovative approach. He has delivered 14 rainbow talks on all India radio and participated in multiple academic seminars and refresher courses. A dedicated social contributor for over 25 years, Professor Singh has served as NSS and NCC officer, social counselor with the Indian Red Cross Society, and member of environmental and rural development boards. His contributions have been widely recognized with 20 awards, including the State Best College Teacher Award in 2003, given by Government of Andhra Pradesh, Principal Award in 2017 by Government of Telangana, National Best NCC Officer Commendation Award in the year 2008 by the Ministry of Defence, and again in 2017. The same continues to contribute significantly to higher education, research, administration, and community service in Telangana. Thank you so much, sir, for coming all the way. And I worked with him, sir. He was a principal in Hyderabad Degree College. Thank you, sir. We welcome you to Tara Government College, Sangareddy.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. The very good morning to you all, respected chairperson, the principal of this college, Professor Praveena Garu, and today's my friend, colleague, and one of the chief guests, Professor P. Balbhaskar Garu, Joint Director, and the board vice principals of the college. The beautiful seminar, the 2-day seminar is being organized by the Department of Zoology and as well as the Computer Science. The future of the life sciences, integration, computational intelligence and biological research. Convener Dr. Naru Prasad and Dr. Mithun, co-convener, and all the HODs, IQAC coordinator, NCC, NSS, and all the respected staff members, all my dear cadets and NSS and all the PG students and UG students. Very happy to see you all today because of the in spite of the busy schedule. Anyhow, what we thought that let us visit the morning hours, then Central University from here. Okay, on behalf of our beloved commissioner, yesterday also madam, she came and she was there for nearly 3 hours spent with us. And really, it is a Tara Government Degree College is going to be, as just now your principal madam, she said, it is a collective effort, the collective achievements which you are going to be involving. And as well as the students are also going to be getting the global opportunities. That is very important. Being a staff members of this department, really we feel proud It is one of the very important human resource department in which we are going to be working. God has given this opportunity to work. The students, they never forget how much opportunities we are providing them if they are going to be making utilizing nearly, because it is a very good. The collectively you have 10 NSS volunteers and as well as the one RDA, NCC cadets, LRD and NIC, all these are the opportunities are also going to be getting, right? Because in the government colleges, these are all the facilities. Why I am telling the students, you should know. Being a student of this Tara Government Degree College, you are going to be getting this opportunity, right? The same thing you have to tell your intermediate pass out brothers and sisters also take admission in the Tara Government Degree College. Ours is the potential college. Our staff members are the potential persons. Those they have completed the degree and as well as the NET was net. They have published several papers. They are assistant professors, associate professors, and professors. Right? These are all the things we have to be, because in Telangana we are the top. The government colleges are the top. But as far as the seminar is concerned, really it is an integrated seminar correlating interrelationship with the life sciences department with the computer department. Really, whatever you are going to be knowing, because when we were the students, when we did our degree in 86, at Madhubnagar, I did it because the computer is because initial, but nowadays after the 30-35 years, you are going to be totally, you are the involving in the computers and as well as the information technology is the one of the very important technology. It is going to be totally operating. The life sciences department, especially the botany, zoology, the topics which you have selected, related to the biodiversity, related to the sustainable development, related to the important aspects which are going to be involving in the life sciences. Right? Even the human physiology is also going to be life sciences. The system, every system, either in the plant physiology or human physiology or whatnot, different types of the anabolic and as well as the metabolic reactions, the important catabolic, metabolic and as well as are also going to be actively involved, in which you are going to be applying the computer science, the knowledge of the computers, the knowledge of the information technology. At this juncture, it is needed because the sciences have been changed. Science is the subject which is going to be changing minute to minute. It is a systematic study and it is going to be, but new innovations are coming, new research is being totally taken up with our leadership of our commissioner direction and the government direction. We are also actively involving for the revamping of the syllabus. In future coming days, you are also going to be seeing the new subjects, new technology, and as well as the new aspects which you are going to be studying, which are going to be very much applicable, which are very much related to the academic and as well as the industry related the syllabus which you are going to be studying in future. Right? This is a good seminar and as well as more to know, because it is one of the very important human intelligence is one of the very important source which you are going to be coinciding with the artificial intelligence with this seminar. The seminar gives because almost all when you are going to be correlating the computers and as well as information technology, then each and every aspects, as you know, because almost all whatever you are going to be going for the whatever test you are going to be for the, like suppose if you go to the ECG, electrocardiogram, suppose if you go to the Edgar cell, because here where you are going to be knowing that electroencephalogram test, like what not every test is being totally nowadays operated by with the involvement of the physics and as well as the computer science and as well as the artificial intelligence. The life sciences are the potential subjects where they are going to be giving a lot, where they are going to be, because almost all the tremendous research is being taking place in this juncture, because you both terminals, I am specially complimenting both of them, integrating and as well as disseminating the knowledge, because almost all nearly 60 to 70 research papers have been done. The research, the university professors will come, intellectuals will come, Don't miss any session. You interact with them. Especially we have the MSc Zoology also. Because why I am telling these seminars, these workshops, these are the very important diaspora where they are going to be sharing a lot of information you are also going to be imbibing, and as well as with this computer society, with this because computational society, these are all the helping a hand for you, because especially I am complimenting the students are also going to be taking part actively. Especially I am telling the students, those who are going to be doing MSc Zoology, preferably you better to try for it for the molecular biology, genetics, and as well as the like, because when you are going to be writing the NET examination, national eligibility test examination, you have to appear for the different various topics which are going to be not taught. Some topics are also going to be covered by such seminars. Like if you take gene bank, nowadays you are going to be cutting the gene, you are going to be inserting the gene. With the help of the information technology and as well as the computational technology. Because wherever nowadays you know, the linkage is the one of the very enzyme which is going to be fixing the gene, and as well as the interference are the one of the very important the proteins where they are going to be giving the immunity. Like even the gene splicing, molecular biology. Yesterday we have interacted the Central University professors. Really, they are very happy, and they are saying because these are all the life sciences subjects where the molecular biology is also going to be intervening, and as well as the genetics is being intervening, and as well as biochemistry is also going to be one of the subjects which is also going to be intervening along with the botany and as well as the zoology, right? So these are the molecular level research is being going for that aspects. We have to be have the thorough knowledge about all these things. They are also giving a lot of information to write whatever the competitive examinations related to the academic and as well as the administrative type of the examinations. And as well as suppose if you see, being a life sciences, getting up the net is very tough. Because nowadays the syllabus is, because just simply we will study the MSc Zoology part, MSc Botany part, but we never cover much amount of the molecular biology, the genetics, and as well as the biochemistry. If you write it, definitely all such syllabi is also going to be covered in the national eligibility test. So that with this, these are all the seminars, workshops. Even I request and I will tell the staff members are all to go for such type of the conducting of the workshops, seminars, apply for it, like symposia, because we are getting assistant professors, associate professors, professors. What not? We are neither lesser than any person who is working in the university. Our colleges are the autonomous. We are also going to be getting the supervisorship, the directorship which we are going to be getting. So that I request all the other staff members are also going to be submit your projects for the DBT, DST, Departments of Science and Technology is ready, and ICSSR is also going to be ready to giving the funding to conduct. These are all the seminars are also going to be giving us for the getting of the good grade in the NAT, and not only that, even in the NIRF, because the other important agencies, they are also going to be seeing all such type of the important parameters, so that with this, you are very lucky that because you are one of the very important college where nearly more than 4,000 students are going to be pursuing in the district headquarters of this Tara Government Degree College, where our students are also going to be in a hiking position. Naturally, that much of the satisfaction we will get it. Proudly, I can say that my first batch student, Sudhakar Reddy, Dr. Sudhakar Reddy is the chief scientist in NRSA Balanagar, who did MSc Botany and the National Remote Sensing Agency. Through that, he has been selected. And proudly we can say our students are our properties. Our students are our, because they are the very important line. They will bring us in a limelight. So that I wish you good luck for the organizers. I wish you good luck the principal and as well as the staff members and the students taking part. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening address. Your presence and words of wisdom has greatly motivated our faculty and students. The key takeaway from Sir's talk is to perform our duties with commitment and upgrade our skills, especially in the area of artificial intelligence and advanced sciences. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again for that insightful speech. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. P. Suchitra Singha, Associate Professor and Head Department of English, to introduce our guest of honor, Professor P. Balabhaskar, sir. Thank you, sir. It is a great honor and privilege to introduce our guest of honor, Joint Director, sir, Professor P. Balabhaskar, sir. Professor P. Balabhaskar, sir, is a distinguished academician with MSc, MPhil, and PhD degrees in physics from Osmania University. He secured the gold medal in MSc Mathematics. With over 26 years of teaching experience, he has served in various government degree colleges across Telangana and also worked in government polytechnic colleges through recruitment by Andhra Pradesh Public Service Commission. Sir was the principal of Government City College since February 2021 to 25. Under his leadership, the college secured renewal of autonomous status and achieved a prestigious NAC A++ grade with a CGPA of 3.67, placing it among the leading government colleges in India. Sir has also contributed to education and broadcasting through SnapNet, Mana TV, and has undertaken significant research, including work at Baba Atomic Research Center on luminescent materials of X-ray imaging applications. He also has an extensive administration experience as academic guidance officer in the Commissionerate of Collegiate Education, where he played a key role in implementing major academic and digital reforms. Presently, Sir is serving as the Joint Director of the standards of quality education and academic leadership. His experience, wisdom, and dedication to the cause of education makes him a truly inspiring personality. We are indeed honored by his gracious presence, and today we look forward to his valuable words of guidance. Sir, the stage is yours.
Principal of this college, President of the function, Professor Praveen, respected Joint Director, Professor DSR Rajendra Singh Garu, the chief guest, and convener of the program of this particular seminar, as well as the vice principals of the college, senior faculty members of the college, and my dear students. So, JD Garu already keynote address ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. It has not a welcome address or a opening remarks, but he has taken a technical session. Gone up to the gene therapy దాకా వెళ్ళిపోయారు సార్. బట్ ఇంకా సెమినార్ గురించి పెద్దగా మాట్లాడేది ఏం లేదు. ఇట్స్ ఎ వండర్ఫుల్ టాపిక్, అందులో డౌట్ లేదు. రాబోయే రోజుల్లో ఈ ఫ్యూచర్ లో నాట్ ఓన్లీ ద ఫ్యూచర్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ సైన్స్, ఫ్యూచర్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ సైన్సెస్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బికమ్ ఏ మల్టీడిసిప్లినరీ నేచర్. మల్టీడిసిప్లినరీ నేచర్ అని ఎందుకంటున్నాను అంటే, we have been working, of course, కమిషనరేట్ గా ఎప్పుడో ఏవో ఒక జీవోలు మీకు నచ్చేవి నచ్చనివి ఇచ్చే పనిలోనే ఉంటుందని అనుకోకండి. కమిషనరేట్ కూడా కొంత స్టూడెంట్ వెల్ఫేర్ గురించి, స్టూడెంట్ ఎలాంటి భవిష్యత్తుని ఇవ్వాలి, మన కాలేజెస్ ని ఏ డైరెక్షన్ లో ముందుకు తీసుకుపోవాలి అనేటువంటి దానిపైన కొంత యాక్టివిటీస్ అనేవి చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది. ద మేజర్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది కమిషనరేట్ జాబ్ ఈస్ టు టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ ది స్టూడెంట్స్, టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ ది కాలేజెస్. సో అందులో భాగంగానే
from 26-27 onwards, we want to revamp our curriculum. ఈ curriculum రివ్యాంప్ చేసేటువంటి దాంట్లో భాగంగా we have taken the support of Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Hyderabad, University of Hyderabad, International School of Business, ISB, for Management and Commerce Studies, for Chemistry subject IICT, Botany Zoology की CCMB, Physics की Geophysical Laboratories GSI, ఇలా different national institutes తోటి కమిషనరేట్ కొలాబరేట్ అయింది. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం నేషనల్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్సే కాకుండా కాన్ఫెడరేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియన్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ వాళ్ళతోటి కంప్లీట్ గా ఇండస్ట్రీస్, ఇప్పుడు నా దగ్గర ఏ సమాచారం ఉంది అంటే ప్రతి జిల్లాలో ఎన్ని పరిశ్రమలు ఉన్నాయి, ఈ మీ సంగారెడ్డిలో కూడా ఎన్ని పరిశ్రమలు ఉన్నాయి, వాటి టర్నోవర్ ఎంత ఉంది, వాళ్ళు ఎన్ని ఇంటర్న్షిప్స్ ఇవ్వగలుగుతారు అనేటువంటి క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్ కూడా మేము ఆల్రెడీ కమిషనరేట్ నుంచి చేయడం జరిగింది. సో దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ ఈ రీవ్యాంపింగ్ చేయడంలో ముఖ్యమైనటువంటి ఉద్దేశం ఏమిటి అంటే మన పిల్లల్ని రేపొద్దున డిగ్రీ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత వేర్ దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్, మనం ఇప్పటివరకు చూసుకున్నటువంటి ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టంలో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మన సంగారెడ్డి కాలేజీ తీసుకుంటే అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ఒక 1,500 ఆర్ 1,500 స్టూడెంట్స్ పాస్ అవుట్స్ ఉంటారు రఫ్ గా. ఈ 1,500 స్టూడెంట్స్ తో ఒక 500 మందికి పీజీ సీట్స్ వస్తున్నాయి. ఒక 500 కి పీజీ సీట్స్ వస్తే మిగతా 1000 స్టూడెంట్స్ ఏమవుతున్నారు, ఎక్కడ వెళ్తున్నారు? ఈ 1000 స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా వెళ్తున్నారు, వాళ్ళు ఏదో చిన్న చిన్న జాబులు చూసుకుంటున్నారు, ఒక అనార్గనైజ్డ్ సెక్టార్ లోకి వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారు. కొంతమంది చదువులు ఆపేసి అగ్రికల్చర్ కి వెళ్ళవచ్చు, కొంతమంది చిన్న చిన్న బిజినెస్ ఎంటర్ప్రినర్స్ గా కావచ్చు. కానీ ఇదంతా కూడా ఒక అనార్గనైజ్డ్ పద్ధతిలోనే ఉన్నది. సో జాబ్ ఆపర్చునిటీస్, ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ అనేటువంటిది ఒక డిగ్రీ కంప్లీట్ చేసినటువంటి స్టూడెంట్ కి చాలా తక్కువ పర్సంటేజ్ లో ఉంది. సో ఇప్పుడు తెలంగాణ గవర్నమెంట్ యొక్క ఫోకస్ కంప్లీట్ గా టు ఎన్హాన్స్ ది ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ది అండర్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ స్టూడెంట్స్. వాళ్ళు బీటెక్ కానివ్వండి లేదా మన అండర్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ బిఏ బిఎస్సి బీకామ్ స్ట్రీమ్స్ నుంచి అయినా కానివ్వండి, ఏది ఏమైనా గవర్నమెంట్ యొక్క ఫోకస్ పూర్తిగా ఏం కనిపిస్తుంది అంటే ఈ డిగ్రీ పూర్తయినటువంటి విద్యార్థులకు ఉపాధి అవకాశాలను కల్పించడమే ప్రధాన ధ్యేయంగా కనిపిస్తూ ఉంది. దానిలో భాగంగానే వీఆర్ రీవ్యాంపింగ్ ఆఫ్ ద సిలబస్. సో ఈ రీవ్యాంప్ ఎలాంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో చేస్తున్నాము అంటే మనకి ఇప్పుడు ఉన్నటువంటి అకాడమిక్ ఏమిటి స్ట్రక్చర్ తీసుకుంటే, మీ క్రెడిట్ స్ట్రక్చర్ తీసుకుంటే, ఈ క్రెడిట్ స్ట్రక్చర్ లో ఒక 2 credits 4 credits ఇంటర్న్షిప్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఒక 4 credits వచ్చేసి మీకు ప్రాజెక్ట్ వర్క్ ఉన్నది, ఒక 8 credits వచ్చి స్కిల్ ఎన్హాన్స్మెంట్ ఉన్నది, ఒక 4 to 8 credits వచ్చేసి మల్టీ డిసిప్లినరీ ఉన్నది. సో ఈ రకంగా UGC has given a beautiful structure for the credits. వాళ్ళు ఇవ్వడంలో ఉద్దేశం కూడా అదే, పిల్లలకు మనం ఏమి ఇవ్వాలి అంటే ఈ ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ స్కిల్స్ ఇవ్వడంలో, ఈ స్కిల్ ఎన్హాన్స్మెంట్ కోర్సెస్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి విషయమే అది. అవి ఎందుకు పెట్టాలి అంటే ఇందుకే పెట్టాలి. ఆఫ్టర్ కంప్లీషన్ ఆఫ్ దేర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ దే మస్ట్ అక్వైర్ సర్టన్ స్కిల్స్ విచ్ ఆర్ వెరీ మచ్ యూస్ఫుల్ టు ద ఇండస్ట్రీ. కాబట్టి ఇండస్ట్రీకి అవసరమైనటువంటి స్కిల్స్ ఏవైతే మనకు వస్తాయో డెఫినెట్ గా ఇండస్ట్రీ ఆ పిల్లల్ని అబ్జర్వ్ చేసుకోవడానికి అవకాశం ఉంది. సో అందులో భాగంగానే ఈ కరిక్యులం రివ్యాంపింగ్ చేస్తూ ఈ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ తోటి నేషనల్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్స్ తోటి మేము కొలాబరేట్ అయిన సందర్భంలో మాకు అర్థమైంది ఏమిటి అంటే ఏది కూడా బాటనీ, జువాలజీ, కెమిస్ట్రీ ఏది కూడా ఇండివిజువల్ గా చూస్తే ఇప్పుడున్న పరిస్థితి ఏమిటి, బాటనీ చేసిన వాళ్లకు, జువాలజీ చేసిన వాళ్లకు అయితే పీజీ, లేదంటే ఇంటి దగ్గర కూర్చో. నో యూస్. ఎప్పుడైతే మనం కరికులం రివ్యామ్ చేస్తున్నామో, ఇప్పుడు మనం బయో ఇన్ఫర్మేటిక్స్ బయోటెక్నాలజీలో ఒక చిన్న పార్ట్ ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ కూడా బయోటెక్నాలజీ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఉంది కాబట్టి తెలిసే ఉంటుంది. బయో ఇన్ఫర్మేటిక్స్ అనేటువంటిది ఇప్పుడు రాబోయే ఇండస్ట్రీ అవసరాలకు ఉపయోగపడేటువంటి సబ్జెక్ట్. ఈ బయో ఇన్ఫర్మేటిక్స్ లో కొన్ని స్కిల్స్, కొన్ని అప్లికేషన్స్ ఆ బయోటెక్నాలజీ స్టూడెంట్స్ కనుక నేర్చుకొని ఉంటే రేపు పొద్దున వాళ్ళకు మన హైదరాబాద్ లోనే ఉన్నటువంటి ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీలో కానీ లేదా బయో టెక్నాలజీ ల్యాబొరేటరీస్ లో కానీ లేదా ఈ భారత్ బయోటెక్ వీళ్ళతో కూడా మేము కన్సల్ట్ అయ్యాము. వాళ్ళు కూడా చెప్పేది అదే, ఏమిటి అంటే బయో ఇన్ఫర్మేటిక్స్ లాంటి సబ్జెక్ట్స్ ని మీరు చాలా చాలా తీసుకురావాలండి అని. తీరా ఈ బయో ఇన్ఫర్మేటిక్స్ ఏమిటి అని నేను చూస్తే ఓన్లీ బయాలజీ సబ్జెక్ట్ బయోటెక్నాలజీ చేస్తే సరిపోదు. వాడికి ఏం అవసరం ఉంది అంటే స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ నాలెడ్జ్ కూడా. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ నేను ముందు మీకు స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇచ్చాను కదా, సైన్స్ ఇప్పుడు టోటల్ గా మల్టీ డిసిప్లినరీ అప్రోచ్ కి వెళ్ళిపోయింది. నాట్ ఓన్లీ సైన్స్, ఈవెన్ కామర్స్ అయినా సోషల్ సైన్సెస్ అయినా అన్ని మల్టీ డిసిప్లినరీ అప్రోచ్ లోకి వెళ్ళిపోయాయి. సో ఈ మల్టీ డిసిప్లినరీ అప్రోచ్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ని మనం కాలేజెస్ లో పెట్టుకోగలిగితేనే ఇక్కడ చదివినటువంటి పిల్లలకు ఉపాధి అవకాశాలు అనేటువంటివి మెండుగా పెరుగుతాయి. సో దాంతో మనకేమిటి అంటే ఫ్యూచర్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ సైన్సెస్ చాలా చాలా బాగుంటుంది. ఫ్యూచర్ ఆఫ్ ద స్టేట్ కూడా బాగుంటుంది. ఫ్యూచర్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా బాగుంటుంది. డెఫినెట్ గా ఇట్ ఆటోమేటికలీ improves the quality in education, in turn improves the GDP, improves the economic strength of the state. సో ఇంత ఇంటర్లింక్ కనిపిస్తా ఉంటుంది మనకు. జస్ట్ మనం చేసేటువంటి ఒక చిన్న టింకరింగ్. వాట్ ఈస్ ద టింకరింగ్? జస్ట్ రీవ్యాంపింగ్ అవర్ కరిక్యులం ఇన్ ఏ వే ఆఫ్ మల్టీడిసిప్లినరీ అప్రోచ్. కాబట్టి నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ మీకు ఇప్పుడు మైక్రోబయాలజీ ఏముంటున్నది, బయోటెక్నాలజీ కూడా ఉన్నది. సో దీంతో పాటుగా స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ కూడా ఉన్నది. స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ ఉందమ్మా. దెన్ యూ మస్ట్ బీ వే అంటే స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ వాళ్ళు ఒక కార్నర్ కి, బయోటెక్నాలజీ వాళ్ళు ఒక కార్నర్ కు కూర్చుంటే పిల్లలు ఇంకో కార్నర్ కి ఎక్కువైపోయి. ఓకే, ఇది కాదు కావాల్సింది. ఇప్పుడు ఎమాల్గేషన్ జరగాలి. బయో ఇన్ఫర్మేటిక్స్ సబ్జెక్ట్ మనం ఎప్పుడైతే పెడుతున్నాం, the workload to be shared by the Department of Statistics as well, the Department of Biotechnology. ఇద్దరు కలిసి చెప్పారు. అట్లానే డాకింగ్ అనేటువంటి ఒక టెక్నిక్ కెమిస్ట్రీ వాళ్ళు డాకింగ్ టెక్నాలజీ కాంపిటేషనల్ టెక్నిక్. ఈ డాకింగ్ అంటే ఏంటి అంటే మాలిక్యులర్ సైజెస్. ఆ మాలిక్యూల్ వెళ్ళి ఎక్కడ కూర్చుంటుంది, ఏ సైట్ లో కూర్చుంటుంది, అది ఎక్కడ కూర్చుంటే ఏ ప్రాపర్టీ మారుతుంది, దాని సైజ్ ఎంత ఉంటే ఇటువంటి సిమ్యులేషన్స్, ఇటువంటి సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ బోర్లన్నీ మార్కెట్ లో కనిపిస్తూ ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు రీసెర్చ్ చేసే వాళ్ళకి అది తెలుస్తుంది. మన డాకింగ్ విషయాన్ని మన పిల్లలకు మనం చెప్పాలి అంటే జస్ట్ కెమిస్ట్రీ తెలిస్తే సరిపోదు, వాళ్ళ కంప్యూటర్ నాలెడ్జ్ కూడా ఉంది. అంటే ద డాకింగ్ సబ్జెక్ట్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు కెమిస్ట్రీ టీచర్ యాజ్ వెల్ ద కంప్యూటర్ టీచర్ మస్ట్ గో ఇన్ టు ద క్లాస్, share the class and to impart that subject. ఇట్లా రాబోయే రోజుల్లో మన డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ అన్ని స్కూల్స్ గా ఉండొద్దండి, యూనివర్సిటీస్ గా మారి. స్కూల్ స్ట్రక్చర్ లో మ్యాథమెటిక్స్ టీచర్ అంటే మ్యాథ్సే చెప్తాడు, సోషల్ సైన్స్ టీచర్ అంటే సోషలే చెప్తాడు. కానీ యూనివర్సిటీలో అలా ఉండదు, మల్టీ డిసిప్లినరీ అప్రోచ్ ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ అన్ని కూడా ఎమాల్గేట్ కావాలి. ఈ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఒక సినర్జీ తోటి అన్ని డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ పనిచేస్తేనే మీకు స్కిల్లింగ్ అనేటువంటిది జనరేట్ అవుతుంది. దట్ స్కిల్లింగ్ డెఫినెట్ గా ఇండస్ట్రీస్ కి యూస్ఫుల్ అవుతుంది. సో ఆ విధంగా ఇక్కడ పనిచేసే టీమ్ లెక్చరర్స్ ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో ఖచ్చితంగా ఆ విధంగా యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ సమ్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఫోరం ఉన్నాయి. కానీ నా దగ్గర సిటీ కాలేజీలో కూడా ఉన్నాయి ఫ్యాకల్టీ, నేను కూడా రన్ చేశాను. 2 రోజులు ఏదో మా రత్నప్రభాకర్ లాంటి నుండి హడావుడి చేసి సార్ ఈసారి వీళ్ళని పెట్టిద్దాం, ఈసారి వీళ్ళని పెట్టిద్దాం. ఆయన మాట ఇద్దరు ముగ్గురు వింటారు. ఓ 3 వారాలు నడుస్తుంది. తర్వాత మా ఊరికి వచ్చింది. అది కాదు, ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఫోరం యొక్క ఉద్దేశమే ఇది. అంటే ఒక డిపార్ట్మెంట్ లో జరిగే అప్డేట్ మనం ఇస్తూ ఉంటే వేరే డిపార్ట్మెంట్ వాళ్ళు ఎస్ ఇది కూడా మాకు సంబంధించిందే, వై డోంట్ వి వర్క్ ఈవెన్ వి ఆల్సో ఇన్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ టాపిక్ అనేటువంటి ఆలోచన వస్తుంది. దిస్ ఇస్ జస్ట్ షేరింగ్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ నాలెడ్జ్. కాబట్టి ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఫోరమ్స్ ఎవ్రీ వీక్ మీరు ఫ్యాకల్టీ అంతా కూర్చొని ఒక క్లబ్ లాగా ఏర్పడి చక్కగా మీ సైన్సెస్ లో మీ సబ్జెక్ట్ లో జరిగేటువంటి అడ్వాన్సెస్ మీద ఒక లెక్చర్ ఇవ్వండి. దట్ లెక్చర్ విల్ బి టేకెన్ బై ది అదర్. డెఫినెట్ గా మాకు కూడా ఉందండి ఇదని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళు ఎవాల్యుయేట్ కావడానికి అవకాశం. సో దట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ వర్క్ వీ షుడ్ డూ ఇన్ ద కాలేజెస్. అండ్ ఆల్సో ఇప్పుడే మన కరీంనగర్ గారు ఏం చెప్తున్నారు అంటే సార్ 250 పేపర్స్ వచ్చాయి. ఇది అన్ని కూడా ఆల్మోస్ట్ వెబ్ ఆఫ్ సైన్స్ స్టాండర్డ్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి పేపర్స్ వచ్చాయి. ప్రెసెంట్ అయితే ఫుల్ పేపర్స్ ఒక 40 వచ్చాయి, కానీ మిగతాయి కూడా వస్తాయి. వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు పబ్లిష్ ఇట్ అని అన్నారు. సో ఐఎమ్ వెరీ మచ్ అప్రిషియేటింగ్ ఆల్ ది స్టాఫ్ మెంబర్స్ ఆఫ్ ది సంగారెడ్డి కాలేజ్. వెబ్ ఆఫ్ సైన్స్ మాట ఇప్పుడు మనం వింటున్నాం, అదే ఉంది. మనమంతా కూడా పీర్ రివ్యూడ్ ప్రెడేటర్ జర్నల్స్ ఈ రాత్రి కనపడుతుంది, పొద్దున్న ఆన్లైన్ లో కానీ మేము ఈ సిఐఎస్ స్క్రూటినీ చేసేటప్పుడు మీరేమో పేపర్లు ఉన్నాయి లింక్ పెడతారు, ఆ లింక్ మేము బట్టి చూస్తాం. మాకు కూడా కొంత ఒక బ్యాచ్ ఉంటుంది, ఆ బ్యాచ్ ని పిలిచి ఈ పేపర్ నిజంగా పబ్లిష్ అయిందా, ఎందులో పబ్లిష్ అయిందో అని చెప్పేసి మేము కొడతాం. కొడితే కనిపించకపోతే వాళ్ళతోటి మాట్లాడతాం. ఆ ఎడిటింగ్ ఎవరైతే పబ్లిష్ చేశాడో వాళ్ళకి మెయిల్ పెడతా. మెయిల్ పెడితే 250 కట్టిండ్రు సార్, ఒక వారానికి అది ఆన్లైన్ లో ఉంటుంది, మన 250 కట్టలేదు, అందువల్ల ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ సీన్ ఇన్ ద ఆన్లైన్ అని చెప్పి వాళ్ళ నుంచి మెయిల్స్ వస్తాయి. దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ప్రెడేటర్ జర్నల్స్ అండి. ఒక పరికరాల జర్నల్స్ లో పబ్లిష్ చేస్తాం. సరే, సిఎస్ కూడా మనకి ఉద్దేశం యూజీసీ కూడా వీరందరూ రీసెర్చ్ లో ఇన్వాల్వ్ కావాలని, కానీ మనం దాన్ని ఏం చేసామంటే మొక్కుబడిగా తయారు చేసాం. ఏదో ఒక పేపర్ కావాలంటున్నారు కదా, ఒక పేపర్ని మనం చూపిద్దామని. ఇది అందరూ చేసిన పని, ఎవరో కొంతమంది చేస్తున్నారని. బట్ నేనేమంటున్నానంటే మొక్కుబడిగా చేస్తే మనకు మన పిల్లలకు యూజ్ కాదు. అది మనకి ఏదైనా ఇండివిజువల్ గా సిఏఎస్ ప్రమోషన్ వస్తుందేమో కానీ, బట్ ఇట్ వాంట్ బి యూస్ఫుల్ టు ద స్టూడెంట్స్. ఆ స్టూడెంట్ కమ్యూనిటీకి యూజ్ అయ్యేటువంటి రీసెర్చ్ చేయాలి. ఖచ్చితంగా స్టాండర్డ్ జర్నల్స్ లోనే పేపర్స్ పబ్లిష్ చేయడం అలవాటు చేసుకోండి. ప్రిన్సిపల్ కూడా డెఫినెట్ గా రివ్యూ చేస్తూ ఉండాలి. మీరు ఎవ్రీ మంత్ యూ మస్ట్ హ్యావ్ ఎ రివ్యూ ఆన్ ద రీసెర్చ్ వర్క్ దాట్ వాట్ ద లెక్చరర్స్ ఆర్ డూయింగ్. ఈవెన్ గెస్ట్ ఫ్యాకల్టీని కూడా వదలకండి. యూ ఎంకరేజ్ ఈవెన్ ది గెస్ట్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ టు పబ్లిష్ ద పేపర్స్. ముందు వాళ్ళని ప్రిడేటర్ లోనే చేయండి, అలవాటు అవ్వండి. తర్వాత ఏంటి కదా, మనం ముందే వాళ్ళని వెబ్ ఆఫ్ సైన్స్ అన్నాం అనుకోండి, దానికి 1000 కట్టాలి, మళ్ళీ ఇదంతా ఎక్కడానికి. కానీ మాకు అంత సామర్థ్యం కూడా లేదు, మాకు ఎవరు మమ్మల్ని ల్యాబ్లోకి రానివ్వరు, మాకు ఎక్కడ కాదు అని వాళ్ళ రీజన్స్ వాళ్ళకుంటాయి. కాబట్టి వాళ్ళని ముందు ఎంకరేజ్ చేయి. అట్లీస్ట్ దే మస్ట్ పబ్లిష్ అట్లీస్ట్ 1 పేపర్ పర్ సెమిస్టర్, అట్లా ఒక పాలసీ పెట్టండి. సో కాలేజ్ కొన్ని పాలసీస్ తీసుకొని ఆ పాలసీస్ ప్రకారంగా మీరు వాళ్ళని ఎంకరేజ్ చేస్తూ మనం పోతుంటే ఇది స్లోగా డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ అన్ని కూడా ఏకమైపోయి డెఫినెట్ గా ఒక సినర్జీ తోటి ఇవన్నీ ముందుకు పోవడం తోటి ఎవరు అల్టిమేట్ గా బెనిఫిట్ అవుతారు అంటే మనం కాదు, బెనిఫిట్ అయ్యేది మన స్టూడెంట్స్. ధారా కాలేజ్ ఇప్పటికే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ వెరీ ప్రెస్టీజియస్ కాలేజ్. ఈ కాలేజ్ మీకు అంటే సిటీ కాలేజ్, బేగంపేట తర్వాత వినబడేటువంటి పేరు, సిటీలో వెళ్ళిన కొన్ని కాలేజీలు ఉన్నా కూడా నెక్స్ట్ కమిషనరేట్ కి వినపడేటువంటి పేరు ఏమిటి అంటే ధారా గవర్నమెంట్. దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫ్యాక్ట్. కాబట్టి ఎటువంటి ఇనిషియేటివ్ మేము స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నా కూడా ఫస్ట్ ధారా కాలేజ్ దగ్గరే మొదలు పెట్టాలి అని ఇటు వస్తాం. అటు ఎన్జీ కాలేజ్కి వెళ్తాము, అటువైపు ఎస్ఆర్ఆర్ కాలేజ్కి వెళ్తాం, వరంగల్ కేడీస్కి వెళ్తాం, ఇటు మహబూబ్నగర్ ఎంబీఎస్కి వెళ్తాము. So these are all very prestigious college for our department. ఖచ్చితంగా మీ కాలేజెస్ అన్నిటిని కూడా జాగ్రత్తగా చూసుకోవాల్సిన బాధ్యత మా మీద ఎంతైనా ఉంది. ఆ వైపుగా మేము మా ప్రయత్నాల్ని ప్రారంభిస్తూనే ఉన్నాము. సరే, ఈ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్స్, ఈ గొడవలు ఇవేవి అవి ఎప్పుడు ఉండేవి. కానీ పిల్లలకు ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ అనేటువంటిది మన ముందున్నటువంటి అందరికీ ఉన్నటువంటి సమానమైనటువంటి బాధ్యత. ఒక జేడీగా నాకే బాధ్యత ఉందో, ఓ లెక్చరర్ గా మీ ముందు ఉన్నటువంటి బాధ్యత కూడా అదే. ఆ బాధ్యతను అందరం ఈక్వల్ గా షేర్ చేసుకొని మనం ముందుకు పోదాం. మన పిల్లల్ని ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ అంటే నెక్స్ట్ టైం 1500 పాస్ అవుట్స్ అవుతున్నారు అంటే 750 ప్రోగ్రెషన్ హైయర్ స్టడీస్ వెళ్ళిపోయారు, ఒక 750 ఇండస్ట్రీ వైపు వెళ్ళిపోయారు అని మన యొక్క ఎన్ఐఆర్ఎఫ్ ర్యాంకింగ్స్ ఇవన్నీ చెప్పుకుంటున్నాం కదా. అక్కడ మన రికార్డ్స్ ని ప్రజెంట్ చేసే స్థాయికి మనం మన కాలేజీని ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్దాం. ఖచ్చితంగా మేము వీఆర్ ఆల్ దేర్ టు సపోర్ట్ యూ ఇన్ ఆల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్. కొత్త కోర్సెస్, కొత్త ప్రోగ్రామ్స్, లైఫ్ ఫ్యూచర్ ఫర్ లైఫ్ సైన్సే కాదు, ఫ్యూచర్ ఫర్ ఫిజికల్ సైన్స్, ఫ్యూచర్ ఫర్ కామర్స్ అండ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్, ఫ్యూచర్ ఫర్ సోషల్ సైన్సెస్, వీటిపైన కూడా మీరు మీ డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ లో మీటింగ్స్ పెట్టుకోండి, రిజర్వేషన్స్ తీసుకోండి. ఎలాంటి కోర్సెస్ ని పెట్టాలి, ఎలాంటి స్కిల్ పేపర్స్ ని పెట్టాలి, ఎలా పెడితే ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి లోకల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ లిస్ట్ కావాలంటే నేను ఇస్తాను. లోకల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ కి ఎలాంటి స్కిల్స్ అవసరం ఉన్నాయి. డెఫినెట్ గా యూ మస్ట్ ఆల్సో కాన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఏ కమిటీ. ఏమిటి అంటే ఇండస్ట్రీ అకాడమియా లింకేజ్ కమిటీని మీరు ఒకటి కాన్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయండి. వాళ్ళని పంపించండి, ఇండస్ట్రీస్ కు పంపించండి. వాళ్ళకి ఎటువంటి జాబ్ రోల్స్ అవసరం ఉన్నాయి, ఆ జాబ్ రోల్స్ కి ఏ స్కిల్స్ అవసరం ఉన్నాయి అనేటువంటిది మన ఇండస్ట్రీస్ తోటి కాంటాక్ట్ అయితే దే విల్ టెల్ us. వాళ్ళని కూడా ఒకసారి పిలిచి మనము ఇక్కడ సెమినార్స్ లాంటివి, ఒక ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ లెక్చర్స్ ఇప్పిస్తే దే విల్ ఆల్సో కేమ్ టు నో అబౌట్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్ పొటెన్షియల్ హూ ఆర్ స్టడీయింగ్ ఇన్ అవర్ కాలేజ్. ఇలా ఇండస్ట్రీకి కాలేజెస్ కూడా లింక్ ని మీరు పెట్టుకున్నట్టయితే ఇక్కడ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ లోనే మన పిల్లలు, సంగారెడ్డి అంటే మొత్తం ఇండస్ట్రీ ఏరియాలో మీరు మధ్యలో ఉన్నారు, మీ చుట్టూ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ఉన్నాయి. కాబట్టి మీకు ఇక్కడ చదివిన ప్రతి పిల్లోడికి మనం ఒక జాబ్ ని డిజైన్ చేసి పెట్టవచ్చు. వాడు ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ లో జాయిన్ అయ్యేటప్పుడే వాడికి నువ్వు ఇది కాదు ఈ కోర్స్ తీసుకో అని చెప్పి వీ కెన్ మేక్ ఎ డిజైన్, వీ కెన్ పేవ్ ఎ పాత్ ఫర్ ది ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఆఫ్టర్ కంప్లీషన్ ఆఫ్ హిస్ డిగ్రీ. వాడికి ఇష్టం లేదు జాబ్, దెన్ యూ కెన్ ఈవెన్ గో టు హైయర్ స్టడీస్. అలా మనం ఏంటి అంటే అలాంటి ప్లాన్ తోటి కాలేజెస్ ని మనం రన్ చేయాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం ఎంతైనా ఉంది. బికాస్ ది సొసైటీ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ లాట్స్ ఆఫ్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ ఇన్ అవర్ గవర్నమెంట్ సెక్టర్. గవర్నమెంట్ కాలేజెస్ లో ఉన్న అడ్మిషన్స్ ఎక్కడ ఏ ప్రైవేట్ డిగ్రీ కాలేజ్ లో కూడా అడ్మిషన్స్ పెరిగిన దాఖలా లేవు. కానీ తెలంగాణలోని ఈ స్టేట్ లోనే ప్రత్యేకంగా 21% ఆఫ్ ఇంక్రీజ్ ఆఫ్ ఎన్రోల్మెంట్ ని రికార్డ్ చేసింది అంటే తెలంగాణ స్టేట్. డిగ్రీ కాలేజెస్, నాట్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ కాలేజెస్, డిగ్రీ కాలేజెస్. సో సీ వాట్ ద కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ దట్ ద సొసైటీ హ్యాడ్ ఆన్ అవర్ ఫండ్స్. సో కాబట్టి దీని అందరికి ముఖ్యమైనటువంటి కారణం ఎవరంటే మీరే, ద స్టాఫ్ హూ ఈస్ వర్కింగ్ హియర్. యు ఆర్ ద పిల్లర్స్ ఆఫ్ ద డిపార్ట్మెంట్. ఖచ్చితంగా మీరందరూ అనుకొని ఇదే పంతాలో మనం ముందుకు పెట్టినట్టయితే ఇంకా మన యొక్క కాలేజ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ని, మన డిగ్రీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ని తెలంగాణలో హయ్యర్ లెవెల్స్ లోకి తీసుకుపోయేటువంటి అవకాశాలు ఉంటాయి. సో అప్రిషియేటింగ్ ది ఎఫర్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ ది కన్వీనర్ అండ్ ఆల్ ది మెంబర్స్ ఆఫ్ ద స్టాఫ్ హూ అరేంజ్ దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. ఖచ్చితంగా ఇటువంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ తోటి మనకు చాలా అర్థం అవుతుంది ఎటు పోతున్నాము, ఏది అవసరం ఉన్నది. సో అన్ని డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ లో ఏఐని ఒక పేపర్ గా పెట్టండి, ఏఐని ఒక లిటరసీగా తీసుకోండి. మనం 2000 ఇయర్ లో అప్పుడే కంప్యూటర్స్ వచ్చేటువంటి రోజుల్లో కంప్యూటర్ లిటరసీ అని మనం మాట్లాడుతున్నాం. సో దాని నుంచి చాలా ముందుకు వచ్చేసింది. ఇప్పుడు వచ్చేటువంటి లిటరసీ ఏంటంటే ఏఐ లిటరసీ. ఇక ఇది ఇప్పుడు కావాలి. కాబట్టి ప్రతి డిపార్ట్మెంట్ లో ఒక మల్టీ డిసిప్లినరీ కోర్స్ ఉంది మనకు. మీది అటానమస్ కాలేజే కాబట్టి సోషల్ సైన్సెస్ వాడికి ఏఐ పెట్టండి, లైఫ్ సైన్స్ కి పెట్టండి, ఫిజికల్ సైన్స్ కి పెట్టండి. వాళ్ళ సిలబస్ ని చూసి ఆ స్టాండర్డ్స్ లో ఏఐని కూడా ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయండి. ఆ రకంగా ఈ మల్టీ డిసిప్లినరీ కోర్సెస్ ఆర్ వాల్యూ యాడెడ్ కోర్సెస్ లో యూ కెన్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ ది ఏఐ వాల్యూ యాడెడ్ లో పెట్టుకోవచ్చు అక్కడ. సో దట్ విల్ డెఫినెట్లీ గివ్స్ అన్ ఐడియా హౌ ద ఏఐ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు చేంజ్ ది lives of the people and how it is going to change the research depths. Okay, so I once again congratulate all the members who are behind this particular seminar. ఇలాంటి సెమినార్లు మిగిలిన డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ కూడా కనెక్ట్ చేయండి. ఇవాళ లైఫ్ సైన్సెస్ లో ఏఐ ఎటువంటి రోల్ తీసుకోబోతుందో అనేటువంటిది ఈ 2 days లో మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. ఫిజికల్ సైన్స్ వాళ్ళు కూడా చేయండి. ఫిజికల్ సైన్సెస్ లో ఏఐ ఉన్నటువంటి రోల్ ఏమిటో, ఏఐ రోల్ లేని సబ్జెక్ట్ లేదు, ఏఐ రోల్ లేని ప్లేస్ లేదు. కాబట్టి ఏఐ ఈజ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఫర్ ఇన్ కమింగ్ డేస్, ఇన్ కమింగ్ ఇన్ ద నియర్ ఫ్యూచర్. సో దట్ ఈస్ వై ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఆల్ ద డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ టు డూ ఆల్ సచ్ థింగ్స్. సో థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. ఏంటి పిలిచి ఏదో పాఠం చెప్పించుకున్నాము అని ఫీల్ కాకండి. ఇది ఒక వెల్ విషర్ మన కాలేజెస్ ని ఎలా తీసుకుపోతే మనం ఇంకా ఎక్కువ అడ్మిషన్స్ తోటి, ఎక్కువ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ తోటి మనం ముందుకు వెళ్తాం అనేటువంటి ఒక ఆలోచన తోటి మీతో షేర్ చేసుకోవడమే తప్పింది తప్ప మిగతా ఉద్దేశం కాదు. సో థ్యాంక్ యూ ఆల్ ఫర్ గివింగ్ దిస్ ఆపర్చునిటీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Thank you, sir. We are deeply honored by your inspiring words and your address. True to the distinguished profile of Sir that I had the privilege to read out, Sir has talked about the endeavors that they have taken up. Sir, we thank both the RJDs for revamping our curriculum with present needs and emerging trends and student employable skills. Sir's address has not only enriched about the seminar, but also enriched our understanding of multidisciplinary initiatives. We extend our heartfelt gratitude for the meaningful talk, sir. So our takeaway for today's talk is not just improving our departments, but merging with sister departments and encouraging multidisciplinary activities. And whatever we do, let us do with integrity and commitment. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request the operating secretary of this conference, Dr. Mithun Thakur, tomorrow summit, yeah. So tomorrow night on this conference. Just share your experience.
Morning, respected principal ma'am, and guest of honor and guest of today's program, GD sirs, Balabhaskar sir, as well as Rajendra Singh sir, and vice principal sir, and this program convener Nagaprasad sir, and my dear faculty and student members. So today's topic is the future of licenses, integrating computational intelligence and biological research. So keeping in this topic in my mind, when we are proposing this topic, I came with a background of systems biology. I studied in the integrated systems biology in Central University in the year of 2006 and 2011. It was the 5 years curriculum, and it covers degree and PG. So how you become zoology lecturer, you can be have the question. So this is the subject where the Central University first time introduced the interdisciplinary course in the entire nation. So this is the 5 years course. I came from the multidisciplinary background. Not just the core subject like botany, zoology, or physics. So when we are having studied this kind of program in the Central University, so they frame the future aspect you have to study compulsory the mathematics, physics, chemistry, as well as biology. In biology also there are multidisciplinary courses are there. Jay sir has mentioned just now, like bioinformatics, biochemistry, molecular biology, cell biology, physiology, genetics. So all the subject we have gone through. So this is the Really, the student has to learn not only like, the just like, the core subjects, just like, present in degree colleges and school level has been implemented from since long back. Now the era, like, the JDs are just now mentioned, they are like, revamping the, like, these kind of like courses. So these kind of courses already revamped in the university levels. So like, the 2006, like, now 2026, like 20 years before, like, it almost like, the everything is like, changed in the university level. It has like, now the opportunity we are having. So we have to utilize that kind of like, the revamping kind of like, subject changing. Like, this main aim of like, this conference is like, we have to understand as a biology student, like, there are like, the multi things we have to learn, not like, specifically botany or zoology. As like, just now, like, JD sir mentioned, we have to understand the mathematics. Like, systems biology is a course where they are like, introduced in the central university. They mainly focus on the theorems and the, like, the models. So for the models and the theorems, you have to understand the mathematics, statistics. So once you understand those things, you have to go for the softwares. Like, the bioinformatics is the tools where you can use like, the R language, Python language. So why you are using those kind of things? Yeah, that should be. So thank you for like, coming for the all the way for your which is schedule, sir. So for this opportunity, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nitin, sir, for the additional information and understanding of the conference. Thank you so much. May I take the privilege of inviting our esteemed guests to kindly come forward for the ladies of the ceremony of this national conference. The ceremony is a reflection of the scholarly contributions and the academic spirit of the student. We request our legal field on the dais to do the honors. So let us have a big hand for the team, both the computer science and zoology department for arranging the student national conference on a very important topic, that is the most talked about topic, and with which we need to widen our horizons on this particular subject. So thank you, sirs, for arranging this beautiful seminar. Thank you. I thank the dignitaries for unveiling the so. I now request our principal madam, it's time to felicitate our guests. So I request principal madam to felicitate Dr. Rajendra Singh sir, RJD. To, I request the staff to please help madam. Speaking for the man. We have much people, sir. Despite your busy schedule, you have come and encouraged us. Your thoughts have definitely encouraged us and encouraged to keep students and researchers who have come all the way here. Thank you so much, sir. So this is a small gesture from our students to our RJD sir for being kind and for encouraging us in all the endeavors that we take up. Now, I request our principal madam to felicitate with guest of honor, Professor P. Balavaskar sir. Yes, please give a big hand, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being a part of our seminar. Your words have definitely inspired us and encouraged us to take new decisions in our field of teaching. Can I ask Krishna Devi to please come to the stage? Thank you, Kimha, for that beautiful gesture. Can we all stand for our national anthem? Shall we all stand for the national anthem? Jana Jana Jaya He Bharata भाग्यविधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्तरांगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा जयति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ शिष मागे गाये तव जय गाथा जय जय भारत भाग्य विधाता We continue our program. Technical session will be carried. Our second person have arrived. So I request everyone to please be seated. Do not move out of the room. I request everyone to please be seated.
और मूवमेंट కూడా కావాలా
We break for the tea, then after 10 minutes again we assemble here for the technical session. And happy to see you.
ఆమె సిటీలోనే పిల్లల్ని ఆటో ఎక్కించాలి ప్లాన్ వర్కౌట్ చేసుకో పటాన్ చూసుకొని అట్లా చెప్పుకొని బస్సుగా స్టార్ట్ ఉంది ఆటో లేట్ అవుతుంది నెక్స్ట్ ఏరియా కానీ ట్రాఫిక్ వల్ల రీచ్ అయ్యాయి రీచ్ అయ్యాయి మరి 5 వాటర్ బాటిల్ సార్ ఉన్నాయి వాటర్ right side ఏమో బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ కాబట్టి మీరు మాకు డిగ్రీలో మీకు పీజీలో ఇక్కడికి వచ్చింది
సార్ ఎలా ఉంది సార్ మీకు ఎంత బెటర్ అయింది రికార్డ్ పాస్
To invite Dr. Shashi Kiran from University of Hyderabad. Sir is from Department of Biochemistry. Sir, please occupy your chair on the desk. I request Dr. Vikram sir to please present a bouquet to our guests. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing this occasion. I hope we all will have an enriching session with your insights on today's seminar. I request to occupy his chair on the dais. I request Dr. Ruti Rathore sir, organizing secretary of this conference, to occupy the chair on the dais. Now I request Dr. Sarojini ma'am to please introduce our keynote speaker. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Manjari Kiran. Dr. Manjari Kiran is an assistant professor in the Department of Systems and Computational Biology, School of Life Sciences, University of Hyderabad. She is a computational systems biologist specializing in RNA biology, cancer genomics, and machine learning-driven bioinformatics. Her research focuses on understanding the regulatory roles of non-coding RNAs and RNA modifications in cancer and complex diseases. She developed predictive computational frameworks and user-friendly tools for next generation sequencing data analysis, genetic interaction prediction, and molecular network characterization. Her notable contributions include machine learning models for synthetic linear interaction prediction, transient complexity analysis, and studies on MLC RNA encoded microproteins in cancer. Dr. Kiran earned her PhD in computational biology from the Center for DNA Sequencing and Diagnostics, affiliated to Manipal University, and completed her MSc and BSc honors from Banaras Hindu University. She previously served as a Department of Defense postdoctoral fellow at the University of Virginia. She is a recipient of several prestigious honors, including the University Chancellor Award in 2025, the Hargobind Khurana Innovative Young Biotechnologist Fellowship in the year 2024, and the third International Research Fellowship in the year 2022. With 22 peer-reviewed publications and H index of 15, her work appears in leading journals such as PLOS Computational Biology, Genome Research, Cancer Research, and RNA Biology. Through active mentorship, national and international collaborations, and advocacy for women in STEM, Dr. Kiran continues to advance computational biology research with strong translational relevance to cancer therapeutics and biomarker discovery. Thank you, ma'am, for coming to our college to deliver your specialization in computational biology. Thank you. We welcome you, ma'am.
No issue.
So I will start. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So today I'll introducing systems biology, and I'll talk about computational approaches and system biology approaches to uncover some of the molecular mechanism or some of the questions in biology. So why do you think diseases like cancer remain so complex? If you have any views, you can share with me. Why do you think drugs fail? And why does targeting one gene often not work? Any guess? You don't even have to guess, you know the answer. You're just not sharing it with me. Why do you think diseases like cancer remain so complex? Are you thinking about that there are redundant pathways? Biology is complex. If you inhibit something, other gene will take care of the cell. If that's what going into your mind, that's what's the answer to all this. So that is why in today's condition, in today's era, there is a shift in the thinking of biological problem. Instead of reductionist approach, today I will present why we should start thinking systems-based approach. So what is the difference between two? In reductionist approach, you will study the past individually. Now, what is systems? If you look here in this room, I'll tell you there are a few systems in front of you which you may not be noticing as a system. For example, a fan is a system, a clock is a system. Anything which requires multiple small parts and the interaction between the parts and the emergent properties coming out from it, that cumulative is called as systems. So earlier biology was more focused at the reductionist approach, where the parts were studied individually. So what is the function of this gene was studied individually. What is the function of this protein was studied individually. But now there is change in this thinking, and now we are going towards systems biology, where we just not study the parts, rather we study the interaction and the dynamics of the parts. And because of this, what is the emergent property of that system? So now, like fan, like clock, these are all systems. All of these are working because of the parts in it. But just placing the part at one place won't make the fan work, right? It has to be interacted in a proper way. There should be electricity, then only you will have the emergent property of air flowing from there, right? Similarly, in cell also, when you have multiple proteins, they interact with each other, they do not function in isolation. Upon interaction with each other, they have the emergent property of something like signaling, something like transcription. Next. So I take this opportunity to introduce my department, which is a pretty new department. And your Mithun sir is first student of systems biology. That time we did not have a department as such, but the course was there, integrated masters in systems biology. And so this department was formed in 2017, and the head of the department is Professor H. Nagarajara, who himself is a structural by his expertise. He's a structural biologist, but he moved into network biology and lots of other sequence-based studies. So he has a computational system biology lab. Then we have Dr. Vivek, who works mostly on plant genomics and metagenomics. Then we have Dr. Mohitan Sahare, who works on protein dynamics, computational simulation of biomaterials. So mostly simulation and modeling of biomolecules. Then my lab is there mostly on cancer genomics and RNA biology. We have Dr. Venkat Prasuja, who works on neurobiology and animal, and he works on stroke and how gut and brain axis is connected. We have Dr. Pramod Rajaram. His lab is on systems, medicines, and bioengineering. So he does lots of mathematical modeling. And we have Professor Gauri Shankar Jayaram, who was recipient of Padma Shri Award, and he is a very famous bacterial genetics scientist. So with that, now I will take you to some topics which we cover in the lab, and then I'll again go back to the system biology. So my lab usually focus on long non-coding RNA. So I'm saying long because it is more than 200 nucleotide long. Non-coding RNA because it cannot code for protein. And in that aspect, we look into several questions. So Shishanya and Ananya, these two are, Shishanya is a business student, Ananya is a project staff. So they are working on whether whether the regulatory region of the genome can encode for these link RNAs. So we are trying to find super enhancer regions. Super enhancers are those regulatory regions of the genome which are in conjunction with many enhancers. So there will be 10 to 15 enhancer with lots of histone mass, and whether they can encode for they can transcribe RNA. And if they do, whether there is a role of this RNA in glioblastoma. Then I have Amardeep, who is a PhD student, and Kaushki, who has already done her master's project in the lab. So their work is mostly into finding whether this link RNA can encode for microproteins. By definition, link RNA should not be encoding for proteins, but we do find they have some small ORFs which may encode for macroproteins. And if they do so, what is the role of these macroproteins in disease? Then Anubha was my first PhD student who has defended last year, and now she's working as a postdoc in IIT Mumbai. So she worked mostly on machine learning methods to develop tools to predict genetic interactions in cancer, and that's what I'm really majorly talking about. We had Ajmal, who has recently passed from lab. Pallavi and Kirtana are other project staff in the lab, again working on different cis regulatory function of link RNAs. So I've told you the expertise of every lab, so that if you are looking for master's project or any small internship, or you want to develop some expertise or skills in any of these areas, you can directly write to the PI and show your interest. So what is a system? As I just now verbally just explained, it is a set of things working together as a part of a mechanism or an interconnecting network for some purpose. So if you look at here, you have different parts in a CPU, and only when they are interconnected properly, you see behavior, that you can see the screen on the monitor, you can see the printer working. Next. So this is a very famous example of system biology, where 6 different blind men are touching different parts of elephant and guessing what they're actually working on. The one who is touching trunk is saying, no, it's a snake. The one with working on working on ear saying that no, it's a fan. The one holding the leg is saying it's a tree. So that's what is reductionist approach. When you work on only one section of the cell or one section of the pathway, you will feel like, okay, this is how the whole system is working. But overall, if you look at it's a huge elephant. Behavioral system cannot be known just by knowing the elements of the system. You need to know the interaction, and if something is perturbed, how it will affect the complete system. So we take the same thing. Traditional biology approach was you input something, you give a drug, cell dies. We don't know how it dies, what pathway is impacted. Then came classical biology, which was the origin of molecular biology. At least we knew that there are molecules involved, like genes and proteins, and because of mutation or because of alteration in this gene, what would be the effect on the output. Now, with the system biology approach, I'm emphasizing that there are many more molecules, they are interacting with each other. When one molecule is perturbed, it impacts almost everything in the cell and then impacts the output. Next. So, system biology is a field which only does not depend on mathematical bonding, but also requires computational tools, requires genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, interactome, and quantitative mechanistic base. So, it also requires statistics. So, we need to learn all these subjects to do system biology, and I think Dr. Mithun agrees to it because he has done this kind of projects. So, how is system biology different from bioinformatics? I should have included one more point here: computational biology. How is system biology different from bioinformatics and computational biology? So, in bioinformatics, you mostly do data analysis, you focus on sequence, and it is tool driven. Your focus is more in storing the data in a database, retrieving the data from the database, and analyzing it. That is bioinformatics. So you're not focused much on how to write an algorithm which is user friendly, very efficient. That you do in computational biology. This is the difference between bioinformatics and computational biology. In bioinformatics, your goal is not to write an efficient algorithm. In computational biology, the focus is more in writing an efficient algorithm, which is more user-friendly and can solve some biological question. So, difference between bioinformatics and computational biology. Now, what is difference between these and system biology. In system biology, your focus is more on system level modeling. You focus more on interaction rather than just one sequence or few sequences. And it is hypothesis driven. You think that, okay, if this drug is given in the night time after meal, then the patient would recover well. So that is hypothesis driven, and for that, you will write a mathematical model. What is the level of each protein or each gene in the metabolic network at that point, and how it will impact if this much molar of the drug is given, and how it will impact the output. So you need ODEs there to get to the output. Next. So there are three major methodology in system biology. One is biological network, which I will emphasize more. Then is omics. Omics include every sort of omics. Third is modeling approach. I'll just touch upon it because I'm not an expert here. Next. So imagining a typical human cell which has a lot of proteins, and these proteins do not function in isolation. So only when they interact, they are either doing transcription and transport. Now imagine this same thing without the cell there. So what you have now is called as interaction network, where the node represents protein and the interaction between the two nodes represent the edge. So the interaction can be physical interaction, it can be regulatory interaction, it can be signaling interaction. It need not be always a physical interaction between two proteins. So depending on that, so as I said, interaction between the nodes can be either regulatory, it can be like transcription factor binding to the promoter. So that way it can be a transcription factor network only. It can be signaling, like this protein phosphorates the other protein. So again, there may not be a physical interaction. Then it can be metabolic network, enzyme and substrate. It can be neuronal network. Next. So this is typical example of a protein-protein interaction network. It's a yeast protein-protein interaction network, which was the very first paper in 2000. I think it's 2004, where they showed that the proteins which are more central in the network, which means which are more having more interactions, are more important for the network. So if you remove these proteins, this from yeast, so you can easily do this flow experiment. If the proteins shown in red colors are removed, the yeast used to die faster, or it used to impact the cell viability more. So that's why they came up with the rule as centrality lethality rule. So higher is the centrality measure of a node, it is more important for the cell viability. Next. This is typical example of gene regulatory network, where you deal with protein DNA interaction, protein-protein interaction. There will be different type of interaction like autoregulation and feedback. You have metabolic network, where instead of protein-protein interaction, what you will have here is enzyme and substrate. So if this is enzyme, then what is the substrate and what would be the product of it? That is a metabolic network. Next. In signaling network, you will have kinases, you will have what gets phosphorated to what, how signal is transferred, how it is infusing other protein. So see, in all these examples, you are working on network. What is changing here is the node you are talking about and the interaction between node. Next. So coming back again to the network, there are some laws and principles of network, which I will explain a little bit. One is power law, which is kind of based on Pareto law. So there was one economist in Israel. So coming up with this fact that 80% of the land is occupied by 20% of the rich people. So again repeating, 80% of the land is occupied by 20% of the people. So this is called as Pareto law. If you see, it is very similar to power law, which tells that most of the proteins in the network, most of the network has low degree, very few are having higher degree. And this is how any network survives. If you think of any network, whether it is social network, you think of road network, you think of airport network, you think of any network where there is interaction involved, not all the nodes will have equal number of interaction. That is a feature of the random network. In a real network, that network which survives, you will always see this pattern that most of the nodes will have less number of interactions. There will be only few nodes with higher number of interactions. And there is a reason why you will see this pattern. It helps the network to have resilience to random attack. So imagine if you are being attacked by viruses almost every other day. Why don't we feel sick and why don't we just give up easily? Because the random attack could be any protein which is holding a low number of interaction. But when you think of giving a drug and it's designed for a specific protein, so that is targeted attack. So you know which protein is to be targeted. So it works in case of when you target the macro. So if you target the micro with a drug which attacks the protein of that micro, which is highly connected in micro, then you will kill the macros. So you can see in both ways how it is helpful. And whenever these kind of proteins which are more whenever these kind of proteins which are more in interaction is attacked, there always will be more havoc to the network. So that's why in case of terrorism also, this kind of information is useful that which airport needs to be attacked. So again, thinking of any sort of network, this is the common feature of any real network. And that's what happens in the CELOS. Yeah, so which means that not all the nodes are of equal importance. So if all the nodes are of not equal importance, it means we need to come up with a metric to measure the importance of the node. Some nodes are more important than other nodes. So one such metric is degree. Degree means how many links the node has to other nodes. So here the degree is 5. It's easy to understand. And a node with high number of degree is called as hub. So in case of airport network, if I ask you which node has higher degree in India, which airport is connected most of the nodes of India airport? Delhi, Mumbai, right? So they are hubs. So if something happens on those airports, it will be really difficult to find alternatives. Fine. Now you have something called as betweenness, which is if you want to reach from one place to the other place, there are multiple routes, but there's always a shortest path. So betweenness means a node which is having betweenness means a node how many shortest paths are crossing that node. So if a node has most number of shortest path crossing, then that node is called as bottleneck. Which means there is no way you can skip that road. You have to take that road, and most of shortest path are crossing that node itself. So here in this example, this particular blue node has a betweenness of 5 because the connection between all the nodes, there needs to be 5 shortest path crossing to it. Then there are many other such network properties, network centrality measure, which will help you to find in interaction network, which node is more important, which node is less important. Something else there like clustering coefficient, which means how many of your partners are actually interacting with each other. Now I'll take for example here, if you have 4 friends and all the 4 friends are friends of each other, it means you hold a high clustering coefficient. Now if you have 4 friends and the 4 friends are not talking to each other, it means you hold a low clustering coefficient. So now you decide what is your clustering coefficient. So if you have high clustering coefficient, it means you all are working together, just like in protein complexes. There are 5 proteins which needs to make a complex to do a function. So that means each of the protein in that complex holds high clustering coefficient. Now with this concept of network biology, I will show you one research-based result, which is magical, where we are trying to predict genetic interaction and see if it can be a therapeutic target in cancer. So magical stands for multi-class approach to identify genetic interaction in cancer by algorithm learning. And we recently published this paper in PLOS Computational Biology. Next. So I take a couple of moments to give introduction of what is genetic interaction. So there are 2 types of genetic interaction which are popularly known in cancer biology. One is synthetic lethality, other one is synthetic viability. So any interaction between 2 genes which leads to a different phenotype is called a genetic interaction. The protein of those genes need not interact. So this is also referred to as epistatic interaction. So very common genetic interaction here is synthetic lethal interaction, already known in many cancer. People have worked on interaction between BRCA1 and PARP1 genes. So these two genes are famous DNA repair enzyme. So think of this situation when there is single strand break, PARP will take care of the single strand break in the normal cell, DNA will be repaired. But if PARP inhibitor is administered or given to the cell, there will be double strand break, which will again be repaired by BRCA1 by homologous recombination in normal cell. But in the cell where there is a BRCA mutation, there won't be any DNA repair enzyme which can repair it, and therefore there will be more and more accumulation of DNA breaks, and eventually the cell will undergo lethality. And that's what we want for tumor cell. The tumor cell should die. Therefore, whichever cancer has prominent BRCA1 mutation, the PARP inhibitor has worked beautifully in those cancers because there are no other DNA repair enzyme which will take care of the DNA breaks. So that's the example of synthetic lethality. Whereas in case of synthetic viability, it's opposite to synthetic lethality. So synthetic lethality, you can think it as a drug sensitivity, when the drug will work better. So in those patients or in those cancer where BRCA1 mutation is there, PARP1 will work, PARP1 inhibition will work better. So good for patient and drug sensitivity. Now, in other hand, we have synthetic viability, where what we see, if a protein is inhibited by some kind of inhibitor, another protein gets some kind of mutation, mostly gain of function mutation, and leads to cell viability. So phenotype here is opposite of synthetic lethality. In synthetic lethality, the phenotype is cell death. And when I'm mentioning cell death, I'm talking about tumor cell. So tumor cell death. In case of synthetic viability, the cell is gaining the survival, which is drug resistance. We don't want that, but it happens. It happens mostly in case of cancer, where you see when one of the drug is given to the patient, the other protein in the patient gets some kind of mutation, and again mostly gain of function mutation, and again this pathway is restored and the cell survives. So one is synthetic lethality, cell death, other is synthetic viability, synthetic viability where cell survives. Next. So now these two genetic interaction, are there methods to predict these genetic interaction? When we looked into computational methods for this, by the way, it can be identified by experimental methods. But experimental method being time consuming and expensive, and most of these methods are done in East, and therefore there is a need for computational methods. And computational methods, broadly the methods can be classified into statistical methods and machine learning methods. In classical methods, again, the input are from expression data or from patient data, where the goal is to find if two genes are mutated. So I'm not able to show the example here because of this video, but you can take my, okay, thank you. So the genes which undergo synthetic lethality, they show mutual exclusion in patient. So if each column here represents patient, and I'm talking about 10 patients here, but you cannot do statistics with 10 patients. You need thousands of patients for the statistical test. So the genes which are involved in synthetic lethality, the mutation in these genes will always be mutually exclusive. Why so? Because if PARP1 is inhibited, BRCA will take care of the cell. If BRCA is inhibited, PARP will take care of the cell. Because eventually tumor cell wants to survive. So you will not see both the mutation present in the patient together. If both the mutations are there in the patient, then the patient tumor cell will eventually die, and the patient will no longer live with the patient. Therefore, you will always see mutual exclusion of mutation in case of synthetic lethality. And opposite happens in case of synthetic viability, which is co-occurrence of the mutation in the two genes in different patients. So we do hypergeometric tests to find which genes show this kind of pattern, and then we make SL and SV pairs. So there are such tools, but this is based on lot of assumption, need many patient data, statistics involved there. That therefore, we also have machine learning method where we train the model on input data set, on fluently known data set, based on either expression, based on presence of domains in the protein, and we are able to classify whether a pair of gene is synthetic lethal or not. So most of these tools which I have mentioned here are for prediction of synthetic lethality. Whether the two genes you want to work with, are they synthetic lethal or not, which is a problem of binary classification. And they are all small, trained on small data set and imbalanced data set. Not just a small, but also imbalanced. What is imbalanced? Which is you have 100 synthetic lethal pair and you have 10,000 non-synthetic lethal pair. If you train something on 100 versus 10,000, the learning will be more from 10,000. So you need to have a balanced data for a good learning. Next, therefore, there's a need of there's a need of multi-classifier, which does not only classify synthetic lethal from non-synthetic lethal, but also classifies synthetic lethal from synthetic viable to non-synthetic lethal or viable. So there are three classes now. So chemical approaches which are binary classifier, like SVM and all, they used to put one hyperplane which can discriminate SL from rest. But what we are proposing in our paper that there should be multi-classifier where not just one hyperplane, there should be more. Next, more hyperplanes which classify SL from SV and SV from not from SL. So there are two approaches in multi-classification. Right. One is one versus one. So I'm approaching towards machine learning now. So instead of binary classification, I'm talking about multi-classification, where instead of yes and no, instead of whether this is a apple and not apple, what we want to do is whether it is apple, orange, and not apple orange. Okay, so you see the difference between the two. When you show the image, like you do the training, you tell the machine, whichever learning algorithm you use, whether this is apple or not apple. What it will see? Oh, it is round in shape. Okay, then it is apple. If it is not, then it is not apple. If it is red in color, it is apple. If it is not, it is not apple. That is binary classification. But if you show orange, it can mistakenly say that it is apple because it is round. It may be reddish some time and it may say that it is apple. So here you have three classes now: apple, orange, and not apple orange. So not these two, but there can be other fruits also. So when number of classes increases, your problem complexity increases there because you need to collect those features which does not only look at round shape, because round is same in both apple and orange. You need to collect those features which nicely discriminate apple from orange from rest of the fruits. You understood the problem here? That's why you need some approaches like one versus one, which is apple versus orange, orange versus not apple orange, none, all, and again here orange versus all. So one versus what? Three binary classification, or you can go for one versus rest, which is SL versus rest, SV versus rest, not versus rest. We moved ahead with one versus rest because that gives us better accuracy. And there are multiple machine learning algorithms like random forest, SVM, KNN, naive Bayes. I'm not going to details of those, but random forest work good for us. It's a collection of decision tree. So you show the input data, which in our case that is experimentally known synthetic lethal and synthetic viable pairs. We train each of these decision tree multiple times, around 10,000 times. Learn from the input data and find out the features which can classify whether it is SL or non-SL, or it is SV or not SV. That kind of analysis was done. So the features here, what we do, features means like I just now give example of round shape, color. These are called as features in machine learning. In our case, the features what we put was sensitivity measures, which just now I talked about, like degree, bitness, closeness, all the topological properties. Asking very simple question here. So if this is the network,
we asked that if we take all the experimentally known synthetic lethal and synthetic viable pairs and place it onto the network, how are SL and SV pairs placed in physical protein-protein interaction network? So if this is the SL pair and this is the physical protein-protein interaction network, are they placed really far or they are close? What about SV? Are SVs placed far or they are very close? So in terms of drug sensitivity and drug resistance, how are the pairs placed in physical protein-protein interaction? That was our question. And the other properties what we learned, like degree betweenness and neighborhood, adhesion, cohesion. With that properties we asked, how are these properties different between all the three classes? Next. And to do that, we took experimental data from different databases. And what we did not have here was not, which is the pairs which are not genetically interacting. How do you get something which is not? We know this is interacting, physically interacting, this is very viable interacting. But what is not interacting? What I will say that today it is not interacting. Somebody else in somebody else lab will show that no, this is interacting as a lethal pair. So this is no longer not. So to generate not, what we did, we took all the proteins, we made possible pairs of all the human proteins. We removed all the known experimentally known pairs of synthetic and synthetic viable obtained from CGI-DB, biograde, SynthDB, and even if it is known in yeast, we removed all those pairs so that we do not have any positive synthetic synthetic viable in not. Now, after this, whoever identifies SLSV in this section, that's okay. There won't be many. So now we have millions of this pair. Now here, if you see the number, we have around thousands. And now this side we have millions. We cannot have imbalanced data from machine learning. Otherwise, what will happen? Each of the decision tree will learn more from not. That it is not. So what will happen? When the training will be like this, and if any user gives a pair, whether my proteins A and B are synthetic or not, because the training is mostly from not, the prediction also will be mostly for not. That's why there should be a balance in the data. And what we did, we randomly picked 10,000 not from here. Now, what not is being picked here will affect accuracy. That's why we repeated this exercise 1,000 times. So we pick 1,000 knots. So we have 1,000 knots in hand. Remember that part. Other part is SV is being very few number compared to SL. There's again imbalance in the data. So we applied something as a SMORE algorithm to balance the data. What SMORE does it removes some of the numbers from data from the sample, which is the class which is more in number, and the class which is less in number, it computes and it makes more false. I mean, it just repeats the same number so that both are equal in number. So what it did, SL was reduced and SV was just repeated and made equivalent to SL. So now we have almost same number of SL, SV and not. With that, we mapped these SL, SV not on the network. We identified a discriminatory feature using varying function of random forest. If you are learning programming or if you are planning to learn programming, then you have random forest, SVM, these functions or modules in every programming language. Nowadays, people use Python and R a lot to do so. You do not have to write a code to do that. You can simply install the package, load the module, and use the function for these tools to find discriminatory feature, which means which features among all the features I am working with can easily classify the classes into categories with good accuracy. Accuracy as good as 80%. So with that, we found 5 different features and we were able to classify SLSV and not. Since I told you that we had thousands of not, and because we had thousands of not and we were balancing data every time, so we developed 1,000 such model and we found that out of 1,000 model, the accuracy remains more or less same for all the 1,000 model. And most of the time, what the features what we were able to find as a discriminatory feature was shortest path, which is number of paths between two nodes, average neighborhood, which is how many neighbors are shared between the two nodes, betweenness, triangle, and addition. So why you see this average everywhere written? Because we are talking about two nodes. Now, when you have two nodes, degree of this node, degree of this node, you need one metric, one value to be included. What you can do? You can either take average, you can take maximum, you can take minimum, you can take median. We did it with all and we found the result does not change, but we are representing here only average. Okay, so all these five properties, next, all these five properties were good enough to classify SL from SV and SL SV from not. Here I'm just showing the distribution of pairs in SL, SV and not, that shortest path is different. SLs are placed far in the network, whereas SVs are very close in the network. And similarly, other properties also tells that SLs are more important in the network compared to SVs. And then once the model is ready, what you do is you check the accuracy. Yes, but we name it as magical. I will give credit to my PhD student who named this tool as magical. And we showed that magical works beautifully good in not just the training data set, but also in multiple test data set, multiple unseen data set. You can go to the next one. Yeah. So we showed that when we take high throughput identified SL pairs from CRISPR, which is stored in DepMap. So DepMap is a database where you have for each gene, if you knock out that gene, how it will impact other genes of the cell. So based on that, you can tell that which two genes are working as redundant genes. If this gene is knocked out, the other gene will take care of the cell. So our medical is able to predict good in DepMap also. Next. And as a network, you can what we can summarize here is that SLs are placed really far in the network in different modules, whereas SVs, which means if something happens to this gene, which is suppose it is BRCA1, if something happens to this module, this gene, this module is impacted, but it won't impact its paired gene. Suppose it's part one. The part one and its module still is active and will take care of the cell. That's why they need to be far from each other in different modules. Now, in case of drug resistance, what happens? If you are inhibiting this gene and the cell is dying, the other gene which rescues the phenotype and gains the mutation is the gene from the same module. So drug resistance usually happens because of the mutation in the gene of the same pathway. That's what we could see and we are reported. And then we wanted to see how good this data is in terms of patient data. Here I am showing you for gliomas. What we did, we took the cancer genome atlas data from gliomas, and we from medical we found that RECQ-L4 and P53, these two are lethal pair. RECQ-L4 is helicase and P53 is a liver suppressor. RECQ-L4 helps in the localization of P53. Now the patients harboring mutation in these two genes, shown in purple color here, survives better than the patients having wild type. Now imagine, two genes are mutated in these patients, but they are doing better than those patients where the two genes are wild type, which means mutation in these two genes are killing the tumor cell better. That's what is one of the good examples of lethality which we could identify. And it is already reported in 2020 that RECQ-L4 suppression either by siRNA or CRISPR correlate well with increased topoisomerase sensitivity of P53 mutant in glioblastoma cell. And this is examples of the viability, which is patients harboring mutation in BRAF and PTEN. So BRAF is octolink PTEN tumor suppressor. Patients harboring mutation in BRAF and PTEN survive poorer than the patients having wild type, which is again example of cell is viable, tumor cell is viable. That's why bad for the patient. Next. So this is also we also check the clinical data whether any of our magically predicted pairs are there in phase 2 or phase 3, what we found that one of the pair, which is between BRCA1 and ESP1, which our magical has identified as synthetic lethal pair with 84% accuracy, is actually already in the clinical trial. So we do have many such examples, which I am not citing here. So many of our pairs, which we have predicted as SL pairs, are in some sort of phase 1 to trial. Next. So moving from here, this is the magical TP database. Next. So these are the screenshots from the database. If you have certain genes of interest and you want to know for your gene which genes are working in redundant pathways, so whether if you mutate this gene or knock down this gene, which gene can play the role of your gene of interest, you can use Magical to get the list. Next. Now, I'll quickly go to omics. I won't take much time here. So I already discussed about network approach and how network approach can be useful in understanding the system. Second is omics, which can be at the level of DNA, which is whole genome sequencing or whole exome sequencing. At the level of RNA sequencing. At the level of protein, it can be proteomics. At the level of metaboloids, it can be metabolomics. Next. So one of the major advancement which happened after having the complete human sequencing done by standard sequencing in 2003, that it took 13 years to get the full human genome. And just few years back, I think 1 or 2 years back, now we have telomere to telomere sequences available. But that time it took 13 years to have a complete human genome sequence, and it was because it was based on standard sequencing and not based on the high throughput sequencing. So advancement which came in the second generation was that we now can sequence multiple fragments of the DNA at the same time in a high throughput manner, and that's why it is called as next generation, that you are able to do things in high throughput manner. And most famous one approach is Illumina. So I'm not going into methodology of Illumina. You can have YouTube video or you can see how Illumina works. But what you do in the background, I can just give you an overview of that the whole DNA sequence is fragmented, and then the fragment DNA is ligated with adapters, and the adapter, and it also has linker DNA, which has primer, and that is sent off to the sequencing. So in the sequencing machine, there would be a flow cell where there already will be some sort of oligonucleotide, which will pair with the fragments which you will send for sequencing, and there will be clustering step, and there will be sequencing step where in the sequencing step there will be a lot of nucleotides which are labeled with the fluorophore will be given in the sequencing machine. And every time when the sequencing is happening inside the flow cell, suppose T is there and it is pairing with adenine, so it will emit a particular light, and that light is measured that this light can come out from adenine, and that is being reported by the machine. So then again that fluorophore is washed out, all the nucleotides will be washed out, and again this sequencing step will keep going on until the whole sequencing is finished. Over. So what you get at the end is files with read length of around 100 to 150 nucleotides, and that can easily be mapped onto the genome or transcriptome depending upon what was your input sequence. So I'll show you one example where we have used sequencing method, omics method, to understand the level of effect a gene can produce on the system. So this is one of the link RNA, link 00152, and we wanted to learn how it can impact the glioblastoma disease, which is a brain cancer disease. So this work is from my postdoc work, not in my lab, where we did sequencing of control, where SI was done against GL2. So SI GL2 3 samples, and SI link RNA link 0152 3 samples. And with PCA we showed that okay, control and treatment they can be seen acting very differently based on the expression. So we identified many genes which are showing a change in the expression level. And with the heat map, I'm showing you here that there are some genes which go from low expression to high expression upon knockdown of this link RNA. And there are some genes which goes from high to low upon knockdown of this link RNA. And when we look at the function of these genes, we could now relate that how this SI and how this link RNA is functioning in the cell, and we identified that the role of this link RNA is in epithelial mesenchymal transition. So again, this example is just to show you that when we knock out or knock down one of the gene, how it impacted the complete pathway in the cell can be easily studied by omics approach. So this is with RNA-seq data. Next. This is just one slide, like third methodology of system modeling, which is modeling approach, where you can have static model where you mostly use network topology. You can have dynamic model which is time dependent. You write ODEs for it, and you can have predictive models. So in dynamic modeling, you have ODE based approach. So this is a typical representation of ODE. You can have Boolean networks, which usually follows and or and not approaches. You can have feedback loops and simulation. So this is a typical example of ODE where you can see that time dependent variation of concentration of different molecules. So this is another very promising field of systems biology. So promote Rajaram works on it. So application of system biology ranges from cancer system biology, post-consumer network, drug repurposing, precision medicine, microbiome systems. I'm just listing few here, but they can give many. Why students should care about it? Because it's an interdisciplinary skill set. It has high research impact. Nowadays, whenever you see any paper in good journals, it definitely will have some system level approach or work done there. So you should have this skill set. In fact, many labs look for students who have expertise in computation analysis. There is a clinical translational, not just in academia, but also in industry. You will have more opportunity. Needless to say that the number of career opportunity would increase a lot. Take home message from the talk is that biology is a system, interaction matter more than individual parts. Modeling of this system is essential and integration is the future. So do think of opting such skill in your career. And this is my lab. I would like to thank my lab for producing all the result and working hard. My PhD students and my master's students, and these are my collaborators. Thank you for the. I want to thank the funding support and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, madam. On behalf of all of faculty members and students of Tara College and attendees, conference attendees, on behalf of all of the participants, from the bottom of our hearts, we express our gratitude, madam. It's a very lively session. Now, with the permission of the organizers, let's move on to the next session. Now, I request our Anita madam to come and introduce our next session's speaker. Thank you, Anita.
So somebody has a question. Manjari, one of guests has a question, so please.
Well, that's an excellent talk and very interesting talk. So very detailed way I have seen. So with my I'm a physics background, with my interest in biology. So using magnetic particles, we are using targeted drug delivery. So we do any modeling happening for targeted drug delivery by using some magnetic particles attached with the drug and going to the cancer cells and breaking the cancer cells like that. So
I'm not aware of such work. Yeah, I'm not aware of such work, but I think what you're looking into is can be answered in modeling simulation.
Yeah.
So how in a typical environment a molecule would behave and simulate that probably could answer kind of what you're looking for.
But I don't know whether it can be traced from when it is delivered, whether it has reached to the cancer cell or not, that I'm not aware of. But modeling solution is something which people do with this kind of question. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. It's my pleasure to invite Dr. Shashikiran, Assistant Professor of Biochemistry, Department.
I'll just take
of,
I will just focus.
in PhD Biochemistry at the Center for DNA Capabilities and Diagnostics at Hyderabad. Then he worked as research associate at the University of Virginia from 2014 to 2020. And he has the awards and the fellowships like the DPT Research Fellowship, ASD Fellowship, Travel Grant, and the UB, a Cancer Center as the training R&D grant. And he is having nearly 15 research publications. Okay, and then and he is also having the research projects, nearly 10 research projects. And now I invite Dr. Shashikiran sir to continue the session.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you organizers for considering me for these sessions. Special thanks to Dr. Mitsum. So I met him in one of the training sessions for assistant professors, and he turned out to be our own alumni. That's how we connected, and that's how he called me, and it was a very good opportunity to meet him, and then all of you. Okay, so thank you. So I think you have a very good talk before this. So where you learned about systems and how you see the biology from top, and then how you analyze it, how you get to things which we should work upon. So so I am, as you know, I come from biochemistry department, and so when you see work like what Manjrish just now showed, it ultimately comes to labs like ours, where we do a validation of what people predict, and we like tease out, we like prove, we give more proofs of like what things actually work in the lab or what will work in the clinics. So with that in mind, I am today presenting one of the techniques which we use a lot in the lab, and which I think is of general interest to all of you. So that is CRISPR. So I think all of you have heard of it. How many of you have not? How many of you have heard of it? Lift your hands. Only 2 of you. You can lift. You are trying to lift, or you have not heard? Not heard. Then I will talk longer if you don't lift your hand. I am sure you must have heard of it. Okay, then. So if you have not heard of it, at least you must have seen those movies.
Yeah, then raise your hand.
Huh? Who has not seen any of these movies? Not seen. Huh? I think most of you would have seen. Okay. You have seen? So, okay. So what is common in these movies?
Defects.
Huh? I will call names and you don't tell. What is common?
Genetic disorder.
Genetic disorders, right? Yeah. So you know these movies all have genetic disorders. So
Have you seen anybody in the society, in your nearby, society, having any of these diseases? You have seen? Right, so, but these diseases come in something called rare genetic diseases, which are very rare. But when we talk of Indian population, our population is so big that what is considered rare in the West becomes common in our population, because we are like 1.5 billion people, right? So if you consider 1% of that, that also comes in thousands or millions sometimes. Right, so although these diseases are considered rare, when we talk of our population, or such a big population, they become quite prevalent. So with our context and our the indigenous problem, we need to cure these diseases, right? Will you feel happy if these people are cured of this? Yes, right. So I put this slide to catch your attention here. But this is what I am going to talk about. Like it's still far when we start treating these diseases, but this is something, the tool which I am going to talk is the tool which is going to get rid of them, get rid of these diseases. Next. So how do these diseases are born? Like how people are born with these diseases? So one of these, which I'm sure you must have learned in classes, is something called sickle cell anemia, right? All of you have heard of it?
Yes.
What happens there? Just one base change, right? One base change, and the phenotype of RBCs changes from circular to some sickle cell, right? And it cannot carry oxygen properly. Right? So that one base is here, T to A. Right? So if you can just change that one base back from A to T, the person gets fully cured. Right? It's a small change in like 6 billion bases that we have. You have to just change one base. The problem looks trivial, but it's a problem in the field of biology from last 100 years or so. So DNA was discovered when? When was DNA discovered? Who discovered DNA? Watson and Crick, right? Which year? 1950s, right? We have learned about it. 1953, right? So from that time, we know that this is in the DNA, and if we can change it, it will be cured. But for next some 80 years, there was no tool to do that. And that's when this tool was discovered recently, like 10 years back. And now we have a tool to do that. So it took some 80 years. People were all prepared that as soon as we get the tool, we'll change it, and the people will be cured. And so as soon as the tool was discovered, people jumped on the tool. And there are a lot of applications now, which I will talk about. So in this image, I'm showing you the DNA as DNA, and the tool is like a scissor. It can just snip that one base, and then you have to replace that base like a stitching you do, like copy and paste, and then it should be cured. That's the idea of this tool. So yeah, so next slide. So but it's not as simple. So the scissor is discovered, but ultimately the tool is just a scissor. We can cut DNA. Okay, so I will talk more about this, but this is just in the in a nutshell. Which a scissor which can cut the DNA, like to cut your clothes, will cut the DNA. And then it's up to our cells to repair it. So that is done by DNA repair pathways, which is like homologous adjoining and homologous recombination. So our cells have the ability to repair DNA. So the goal is to to use the scissor and induce our cells to repair it correctly. Okay? So that the wrong bases are corrected to right bases. Okay, so it's a cut, copy, paste. That's what we have to do. That's what if we can achieve inside those patients, they will be cured. Okay, in simple words, it still gets more complicated, but now we have the capability to do it. I'll try to convince you that we can do it. We can do it in simple labs like ours, and people are moving in that direction. So before I go further, I will use some terms which you already know. I'll just revise it here for you. Like genome, you know the meaning of genome, right? It's the sum of all the DNA we have, like all the chromosomes, all the DNA. Chromosomes, you know, they are like the pieces of DNA in our system. You know, gene organization, and you know about ploidy, like we are all diploids, right? So diploid means, what does it mean? So this is important. You are all lifetime students, right? So we have 2 copies of DNA. Right? Right or wrong? So 2 copies from where they are coming? One from father, second from father. Then one from father, one from mother, right? So why we need to have 2 copies? Bacteria does well with 1 copy. Right? It can also grow. But diploid organisms have adopted this 2 copy system to have complexity and have a backup. Like if 1 copy gets mutated, other copies still works. Okay. So ploidy is important in achieving correction, because when we say ploidy, so we have 2 copies. So if we have faulty gene, that means both copies are faulty or good? Faulty. So if we correct 1 copy, will it be sufficient? No, right? We need to correct both the copies. And that brings complexity. And the complexity becomes more when you go to things like plants. Plants have 6 copies. So if you want to change something there, you have to change all 6 copies. So ploidy is important in all of this. And you know the meaning of alleles. Alleles is something like the forms of the genes. Like you got 2 copies from your 2 parents. Right? Do you think they are both same? No, right? But do you think you got the same genes from both the parents? Yes, right? So the 2 forms of the genes which you got from the 2 parents are the alleles, in simple words. So these are the simple terms. Let's go back something else. So this is all, they are all organized in chromosomes. So we have 46 chromosomes. We have 6 billion bases in that. And among these 6 billion bases, we have to target just 1 or 2 bases to correct a disease. Right. The next. So before I go further, after this few slides, I will take you to whisper the technique itself, and that will be more intense. I'll try to tell about the technique itself. But before that, I'll try to convince you more about its utility, so that you appreciate its importance. So where it is being used, today, like right now, what people are trying to do with it. So there are some examples which you must have heard in newspapers or news or read in classes. So you know this aspect of organ transplant, right? So you must be knowing in your family or society some people suffering from kidney failure, liver failure, heart failure, and people often succumb to death, right? So there is a severe shortage of organs. Like it is possible to transplant an organ from a different person, but often organs are fall short of the donor. You don't have sufficient donors. So what people are now trying is to use animal organs, and in that direction, pig is the most suitable organ, which people are trying to collect organs from the pig and implant in the humans. So what is the problem there? Do you think if you take human heart and put in our heart, it will work? Will it work? It is. If it is a suitable heart, it will work. Right, so what do you think? Others? Might be, may not be. Might be, may not be. Nice answer. Based on? Genes and DNA. Based on genes and DNA. But what is the most likely outcome? Most likely outcome is it will be rejected. So it's a different species altogether, right? So 99.9% times it will be rejected. Simply because it's a different species. It's not even a same species. Even in the same species, you have to find a suitable match who is very closely related. So it will be rejected. So to make this heart or organ suitable, we have to change it to human needs. So you have to humanize it. So what the companies or the scientists are doing currently is they are making a humanized pig, because pigs and humans use the same genes, right? There are small changes here and there. So we are humanizing the pigs so that their organs will become suitable for transplant. And recently you saw a success where a pig heart was transplanted to a patient in the US who was like going to die anyways. So he survived for some 15 days or a month, right? So that showed that the pig's heart could work in the human system for some time. After that, the patient died, but due to some because there is not still sufficient advancement, but showed the promise. Yeah, so we need to edit more. So that's one direction people are going. Then the next one is you must have heard these cancer treatments has advanced a lot. So what we can do here is we edit something called T cells. So T cells are your own immune cells. Right? So normally T cells can kill any cancers that are being formed. So every day our bodies make some cancer cells, but we have our own immunity which takes care of those cancer cells and they are killed off. But very rarely one of those cancer cells will learn how to evade the immunity, evade those immune systems, and they fool the immune system and then they keep growing. Okay. So now when the cancers are formed, now we have a technique. We can take out our T cells and then in the test tube, we can like edit it. Right? Cancer cells have fooled you. Now we will teach you how to kill them. So those edits can be made in the T cells that you know as CAR T cells now, and then we grow them in outside the body, and then we implant in the patients, and it has shown a lot of success, especially for blood cancers. So blood cancers are almost treatable now with CAR T. So a lot of CAR T editing is going on even in India now. It's an adopted technique. And very successful for blood cancers, not so successful for solid cancers. So this is another application where people are using the technique. And then the technique is being used a lot for editing animals, transgenic animals. So here I have some examples like this goat. We eat, people consume mutton, right? So the goat is now edited for by removing the myostatin gene, which blocks its growth. So the goats become very muscular. So then you can have more meat per goat. Although this is not cleared for consumption now, but such goats exist now. Now there is a cattle which is inserted so that it will only create male offsprings. Right, so in the West, where beef is a majorly consumed, so they don't want female calves to be born because males are bigger. So what they did, they edited the animals to just produce male calves, no female calves. So those are also ready, but there is no approval. Someday when the approval comes, those animals will come into the market. So now there is poultry which is resistant to some diseases. They have removed some genes, ALV resistant poultry, which will not be affected by avian leukemia virus. So it's like this are possible. So all these three applications I showed you, zero transplantation, cancer treatment, and transgenic animals. These are actual experiments which have been completed and which are possible very much in today's world. So it's a very powerful technique that you can learn and apply to many diseases. So that was my point till now. So now I hope I have convinced you that it's a powerful technique worth knowing about, and I hope you will be interested to learn more about it. So I'll take you like a little bit more deeper, and I'll tell you how it exactly works, from where it was derived. There will be few more intense slides, which will take you exactly to the technique. So basically, this is a DNA, and you have you want to do this. You want to take one base and correct it. That's our goal. So how do we do that? Next step. So now it looks trivial, but when you think about it, we have 6 billion bases, right? That's like in one person, you have bases as many as there are people in the world. Right? There are 7 billion people now, and you have 6 billion bases. So now if I ask you, if I give you random address and I tell you go and talk to that person, can you do it? Maybe you can do with a lot of connections and all now. But imagine like 50 years back, imagine you don't have internet, you don't have phone. Can you pick a person by just name in say in South Africa? I could tell you, go and talk to this person. Can you reach there? No, right? So 1 in the 6 billion is like finding a needle in the haystack. That's the same, right? So that's the thing. Like we have to have a specific recognition of the target. So how can you go there? The genome. How can you find the address of that one base? How can you reach there? That's the primary problem to the tool. And then once you go there, you should just cut there, nowhere else, not the neighbors. You reach that person, just talk to it, get your problem and come back. Don't talk to anybody else. So that's the specificity. So specific recognition and specific cut. And then the tool should be such that I asked you to pick somebody in Africa, you should go by the same tool. I asked you to pick somebody in US, you go by the same tool. It's not that you have to rediscover the tool. Right? If you have to remake the tool, then it's not worth. Right? You cannot make the tool all the time. So it has to be adaptable and it's to be easy and economical. Right? Only then multiple people will adapt it. Otherwise, only rich labs will be able to do it, not everyone. So before CRISPR was discovered, there were techniques which were discovered 5 years before or approximately the same time, like zinc finger nucleases and TALENs. So these techniques were there, but they were quite sophisticated. It was possible to do, but it required a lot of protein engineering, which very few labs could afford. So I'm not going into details of this, but just know by the name that these were the TALENs. I will just bring you to the right tool, the CRISPR. So why this tool is very successful and why people were so excited about it is because it is very simple. It just is made up of 2 components. One is a guide RNA and one is a protein called Cas9. So guide RNA is something which will go and search your base, where it is. In the 6 billion bases, it can identify where is that one base. Okay, and it's easy to make, right? You know about primers? PCR primers you must have learned, right? PCR you must have learned. So there you make primers. So you make primers of some 20 bases. Right? Not more than that. So some 20 bases is sufficient to pick a sequence of out of 6 billion bases. So these are like primers, and you can just pick it. And then there is the protein is the scissor. So if that can cut the DNA where for which the sRNA is identified. Yes. So it has just two components, the guide RNA and the Cas9. So with those two things, we can edit any target site in the genome. We can go to so if you talk of genome, it becomes chromosome. You can go to any chromosome, any site, and if you know the sequence, now we know the sequence. Just now you heard, right? Mantri said our entire genome is sequenced, so we know where we have to go. With this tool, we can exactly go there and cut the DNA. So I will take you still more deeper. It will become slightly boring, but if you want to understand the tool, I'll just introduce you to few terms. So sRNA, okay, I'll talk about these 7 things, and I hope I will be able to give you the complete tool idea. And I think I will also be able to convince you that it's a very easy to understand and easy to make tool, which you can adapt to. Okay, so first of all, you should understand from where this tool comes. So CRISPR comes from a bacterial system. So okay, I will give you an analogous example, which you will be knowing very well. You know about restriction endonucleases, right? Restriction enzymes. Give me an example. Any restriction enzyme? For what? That small names are there, no? We've got hexameters, tetrameters, EcoR1, PAM-H1, UBR, whatever 3 names you words you mix, it will make a restriction enzyme. So it's there are so many. So these restriction enzymes came from bacteria, right? You know, because they have to kill the incoming phages and save bacterial genome. Right? So similarly, like the restriction enzymes, CRISPR is also a bacterial system to prevent bacterial viruses or phages to take over the bacteria. Okay, like we have immune system. Like when you are a kid, you get lot of sneezing and all, right? Because because you get infected with lot of viruses. As you grow, you get immunity towards local viruses, and then you don't get common cold and all. So similarly, the bacteria, what they do, they are one cell organism, right? So they don't have so many immune cells and all. So what they do is, whenever a new phage comes, they cut a piece of DNA and store in their own genome. Okay, so a piece of DNA they store, and whenever the next time the virus comes, they make RNA from that information and they chop off the incoming viral genome so that they cannot make more viruses. So this is a simple thing the bacteria do, and this array of virus sequences is called CRISPR. So I can take you even more deeper, like what each molecule does. So this slide is a discovery for which Jennifer Doudna got the Nobel Prize. It's her like 20 years of work, and it's a little bit complicated. But if you just hold for 5 minutes, I can make you understand. And you will understand the truth. Okay. So just pay attention. What exactly CRISPR means, and it's a very simple tool if you understand this one slide. So CRISPR stands for clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, right? So every word is means something. So first word is clustered regularly. Okay. So what people saw in like 70s is in the bacterial genome, there are some repeats like this. Like you see these brown boxes, they just saw that there are repeats. So those repeats were there and they were all identical. Same sequence repeated after intervals. So that's what it was called clustered regularly interspersed repeats. Now these repeats, people could not tell what it is doing. It almost took like 5-6 years to have the next idea. So what happened after these repeats were seen, what somebody else found that these repeats are these repeats have some sequences which they called spacers. Okay, so these repeats were separated by sequences which were called spacers. Spacers did not have same sequence, but repeats had all the same sequence. That's why they are shown in the same brown color, while spacers are shown in a different color. Spacers are shown by different colors. Now the third discovery was that somebody else found that these spacers are actually coming from some viruses. Okay, so each spacer is coming from a different virus. So then it becomes interesting, right? Why the bacteria is having the viral sequences? Why the bacteria is storing so much of the viral sequences? This is virus 1, this is virus 2, this is virus 3, this is virus 4. Or you can say paths. Bacterial viruses are paths. So now, now people became interested, and then the entire mechanism was worked out. So it turns out these bacteria stores the sequences of paths in small amount of DNA. And upstream of this storage area, there are some proteins called Cas proteins, which process this entire thing. And the third component is the tracer RNA, which is again upstream of this entire area. The tracer RNA is now complementary to the spacers. Okay, so tracer RNA is small RNA, but it binds to the spacers. This area is complementary. So now what happens whenever a new pass comes, it comes with DNA, right? So the entire this cassette becomes active and it expresses the entire area. And the entire area is one long RNA, where this tracer RNA binds because there is complementarity to it. Okay, so now this becomes one unit, which is all specific to one of the viruses which has invaded earlier. Okay, so whichever component now binds complementarity to the virus, that binds it there and chops that virus DNA. Okay, so this system was now repurposed for use in for cutting DNA in the human genome. So the thing to notice here is that this is all happening inside the cells, right? This bacteria is doing inside its own cell, right? So now, when this entire system was worked out, immediately the people who were working on it, they thought, but what if we take out this system from bacteria and put it in the humans or any other cell type? It should work, right? Because DNA is DNA, whether it's come from a bacteria or it comes from a human. There is no difference in that DNA. It's still made up of those A, T, C, T. Right? And that's, those 80 were used for the recognition. So immediately these people, next. Next. Made the tool, one more simple. Next, before. Yeah, so what people did, they took out the principal army from there. And those, one more slide back. One more. Let's say that, yeah. So people took out three things from this bacterial system. First was this Cas9 protein. Second was the PAM sequence, and third was the CRISPR RNA. Okay, so they made these systems, these three things in the lab, which is called recombinant. You know recombinant protein duplication, right? RDNA cloning and all. Must be really. So they just cloned these systems in the lab. Next. And next. Again. So they cloned the systems in the lab and then put it with some DNA, target DNA, and did the experiment. So this is the exact experiment from the discovery, and they mixed it with the DNA. And what they could show that DNA is cut into two parts. So whatever the bacteria was able to do inside itself, we could do it inside the test tube. So the next goal was they put the entire thing in a cell, and then they could also show that inside the cell also it can cut your target DNA. And then after the first experiment was done inside a human cell or any cell type, CRISPR was discovered as a tool. We could cut the DNA inside our cells. Okay, next. Next. So how this tool became a sensation? Like it became a blockbuster movie, right? People were waiting for this, and they got it. Like you can cut the DNA inside your cells, you can treat the diseases. That's what they thought. And all that, this you can do at a very low price, was economical. You could just get those small guide RNA which we can make in the labs, and the Cas9 protein which also you can make in the lab. And accuracy is like wonderful. You can actually go to any base in the 6 billion bases. You can do the experiment in your labs. You can do it here also. Okay, it doesn't need any other tool except cell culture and some PCR mushrooms. Okay, so it became a democratic tool, so that all the labs around the world started. Next slide. Okay, so now you know about the tool, and how much time we have?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So, yeah, so I will walk you like how we use it. Like I will walk you through how we use it in our labs. So I will talk about how we use it in my lab, and similarly in other labs around the country, so that we can correlate with our situation rather than what you see in the news or in the news. Next slide. So I will talk about a case which we are doing currently in the lab. So this is about a patient who came to the clinic with some sort of genetic disorder. This disorder is known as skeletal dysplasia, where the patient is born with abnormal skeleton. So there are skeletal deformities. And the fingers are fused, they're short, the posture is awkward, the spinal cord is curved, the neck is bent. Plus, they have patient was a female abnormal genitalia and all. And the patient was born from in a consanguineous family. So in the family there was also a report that many neonatal fetuses have died. But the cause was not known. So, but several newborn kids, newborn child has just died just after birth. Okay, so what the first next slide? The first thing we did was like the thing that you heard in the last talk. Like you have the DNA, you don't know what is causing the disease. So what you do? You sequence the entire gene. So here we did something called whole exome sequencing, where we sequence all the genes in the patient. And what we were trying to see, like which gene is having some mutation. Which gene is normal, which gene has what mutation. So we found 3 mutations in the patient. And out of that, 2 of them could not, like already it was known what that gene does, and patient was showing those phenotypes. Third one did not show, was not known to cause any disease. So now we think that this gene causes the disease. And we think it may not be good. So what will be our next step? What do you think? How can we know that? We think that this gene, one gene is mutated in the patient, and we want to like before you go for treatment, we should know that this is a gene, right? Which is causing all these skeletal phenotypes. So how do we do that? So what we have to do is we have to show that when you mutate that gene in some other system, say a cell line or a mouse, you should get the same disease that was there in the patient, right? Then we can say that mutation is actually the cause of the disease. Let's think of treating it. Right. So the first goal is to model the disease, model the mutation. So how do we do that? So that we can do with the tool, the CRISPR tool which we talked about. So I'll tell you, I'll show you some results from the lab where we were able to do it. Next slide. The next slide. So how we do it? These are the steps. I'll just walk you through this. So first we make those guide RNAs that you saw in the tool, right? StRNA. We design it like where is that mutation based on 20 base pairs. Make this guide RNAs. Then we clone it, and then we make some 5-6 guide RNAs. We like check which one is most efficient. We choose the most efficient in the guide in the lab, and then we try to put in the cell lines or the mouse. So, yeah, this is in the nutshell. There is time, so I'll just go to the next slides. So this is how we do it. See, your DNA looks like this, right? ATCG all over. And here our mutation is these 2 bases that we identified through genome sequencing. Right. So what we do? We made a lot of these diagrams. So the green colors you see here, they are the guides. These are your things which will take the scissor and cut the DNA here. Okay. So out of these 4 and there are 2 more guides, 6 guides. We'll choose which one is the best scissor, and then we'll cut this DNA here, and we'll paste our mutated DNA. Okay. So next. So first, this is the result from the lab where I'm showing you that we'll put these guides, and this is your DNA normally. These are prepared from bits here, and if the guide is cutting it, we will see an additional band. If a DNA is like this, if you cut it, you will start getting 2 pieces, right? So that's what there is there in the gel. You have 1 piece of the DNA. When you add guides, you see additional pieces. That means our guide is working. And then we have to see which one is cutting most nicely. So you see this one is cutting a little bit more nicely than others, right? So these are better guides. So now we will take them to inside the cells and try to make the mutation which was there in the patient. So that is for making the cut, right? So again, the scissor will cut, but can you make this, but to put our but to paste, like I showed you a slide where we had cut, copy and paste, right? Cut and paste, little bit copy. So cut we can do with the guides, but for pasting you need something, right? That paste is the template. Like whatever you want to repair, that template you provide. So we have to create two base mutation. So that is provided with the template, and we provide some homology. And this one is called homology arms. Like it's called homology directed repair template. So we provide the guides and the template, and then we look for the repair. Next question. So okay, so this is the screening strategy. So once we do the repair, we should be able to check it by somewhere, right? So here what we have done is there was equivalent site before our edits. So we have changed the equivalent site to a wild type site so that it cannot cut now. And then we will screen by restriction digestion. So yeah, this might be a little complicated, but we can discuss it later. So after that, what we do is we screen lot of clones. We put inside the cells, grow the cells, and then check each of the clones separately. So now what? So D means digested here. There is a small d, right? So D we have added equivalent there. So normally, if the genome is wild type, it should be digested. But if it is edited, it should not be digested completely. So like that, we screen several clones and we find several clones which are edited by the technique. And now we use these clones. Now we sequence all these clones by Sanger sequencing. And you can see that now in the sequence of these clones, this AT is lost. It's not there. So we have recreated the mutation which was there in the patient in a cell line now. Okay. We saw that patient right in the initial slide. And we took the patient DNA. We searched throughout the DNA, the 6 billion bases. And we found 3 hits. From those 3 hits, 3 mutations, we again chose one, like this is the most likely cause of the disease. Now that one, we cannot say this cause of the disease unless you prove it in the lab. So for that, what we did, we created the same disease in a cell line. It's a bone cell line. So if in the bone cell line, also you can see some sort of changes that the bone cells are not working properly. Then we can say that is the gene which is causing the disease. Okay, so this is the flow for ascribing a gene to the disease, and then the treatment will come later once we pass this step. So we are here at this stage now. So we have these cells now. So we are characterizing it, and then in the next stage we will be able to ascribe it to the patient or not. It may fail also. We don't know. So I will stop here. Just with some info slides. So in the lab, we also use CRISPR for a lot of other things like changing the genes, tagging the genes. It's a tool used for many other applications. And I'll just tell about my lab in the Department of Biochemistry here. So although I talked about the technique today, but my lab is focused on something called ubiquitination pathways, which are brilliant in HPV-induced cancers. There are people working on different aspects of ubiquitination and de-ubiquitination. So if you are interested in this, there are different PhD students working on each of the projects. We can talk about or you can contact me about these projects later. Yes. So most of the work done here was done by one chapter. Was done by Harshita, one of the three most busy student. And next slide. Then this is my lab. It's funded by ICMAR, UBC and SAR, and also the university some funds. So yeah, so with this I thank the lab and all of you for the patient hearing. I'll stop here. Any, if you have any questions?
Thank you, sir. Now it's the time for sir concluded this inspiring session for interactions. If anybody is having questions, sir will take that question. You can come to the layer, otherwise we'll come to you. Go to the.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. This is Rahul, the message zoologist from final year. I have two questions. As previously you told that there will be a chance reproduction of male calves, male buffaloes. So here the two questions that I have: can technology keep sex sorted or semen or genetic engineering be used to produce only male calves or livestock? And the second question.
Let me answer the first question. So you mean only the male calf?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on the design. You can also make the livestock to produce only female calves. Like if you are say running a dairy farm, if you are running a meat farm, the requirements are different, right? In a dairy farm, you will like to have more female cows because you are interested in milk. So there you can edit the animals to produce only female cows. Because you don't want to kill, right? Mostly, if a male calf is born in a dairy farm, mostly farmers kill those cows, right? And in reverse happens in a meat farm. Is that what you asked?
Yes. And the second question: if biotechnology allows us to control the sex of livestock, could produce only male animals in pure or meat production FMC outputs create long-term genetic or ecological problems?
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's an ethical question. So that's up to the governing bodies to inquire, and that's why these are still not clear for usage. But we as scientists are just concerned about whether we can achieve it or not, and that's what I was convincing. And one more thing, like these are genetic changes, right? So when you like normally also when you are having a farm, you choose for animals which give you more milk, right? Both males and females. So farmers subconsciously also keep choosing animals with their desired traits. Okay, so that by doing that, what are we actually doing? We are choosing the animals with DNA which we want. Yes. Right? So that the same thing we are achieving with CRISPR nowadays, because we don't have to now mate. We can just change the DNA with our hands. Okay. So at least with respect to the change, it is going to be stable in the population. It's not going to diverge. But yeah, ecological effects and there are other ethical concerns which is still there. And there are a lot of bodies which are thinking whether to permit it or not.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rahul. So you got answered?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other?
No.
Yes, sir.
So today, the Tara College it's a privilege that in the two sessions, Dr. Manjari Kiran Madam highlighted the interactions, all the systems biology, then outward, then immediately handing over the next session to the Dr. Shashi Kiran sir, who came up with the molecular scissors, which enter the cell and searches in the more than 6 billion bases, and it goes and specifically cuts the exactly specific defective gene, then getting it corrected. And now, as we came to know a lot of things by this session. We feel so happy for you, sir. And now it's a time for our principal madam has entered the, please, we request our madam to grace onto the chair along with Dr. Manjari Kiran madam. We also request. And I would like to call upon the family of Mithun sir, the organizing secretary, command the rest, please be seated, sir. Now, it's already, it's a very difficult topic and with great difficulty, we consigned and restricted the very elaborative topic into very short, precise and concise 45 to 45 minutes to 1 hour session. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Manjari Kiran madam. Thank you, Shashikiran sir, for the benefit of our listeners, for the keeping lunch in your mind. You consign this topic into the before lunch. You both of you concluded the sessions. Now, after our formal chairman's remarks from our principal, we will go to the felicitation session. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to all, and so happy to have Mr. Shashi Kiran and Mrs. Manjari Kiran Garu with us all. Because it was really, I just heard a bit of it only for 5 minutes. I didn't even listen to this concept like molecular scissors. We have scissors in our homes. We cut off whatever we want. But these are some special scissors which will go into our body and they'll cut off all the molecules which we don't want are disease causative elements. So it's a wonderful thing that wherever we want, the cancer or some other disease or whatever it could be, if we send the molecular scissors, it will just go into the body and it will cut off or eliminate whatever we don't want. So thank you so much for introducing such a wonderful topic to our children. And thank you so much, ma'am. I missed your session. But still, they have come all the way to our college from University of Hyderabad to here to enlighten our students. So this is wonderful opportunity. I could see some interest and patience among the students today. So just go ahead with this, even after the lunch sessions. Thank you once again.
So I request Manjari ma'am, please take the chair. So small felicitation from our side, please. So I request Dr. Shashi, please take permission. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you for the resource persons. This is the time for lunch, so we will wait for 1 hour. After lunch, we will join here for the technical session 3. We will be here. We will be here. Thank you.
Yeah.